Welcome everyone you're listening to and perhaps watching Calling the Audible. I'm your host, Pease Delarize. Mokan has been kidnapped by cats. Joining me is Iggy Magnets. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. Oh, my samosa.
It's
my little piece of Mokan just flopped.
Yeah, it's like if you're actually Mokan. To any of the viewing audience, if it looks like I am the member of Marty McFly's family, I am disappearing because it is St. Patrick's Day, and I decided to wear green, even though the show takes place on a green screen. It was
I can wear
oversight.
green. I'm not on a green screen.
Yeah, Eagle, show the people what you look like.
I'm invisible.
Are you? I don't believe you. You have a camera.
He's coming.
You have a camera. I don't understand. Yeah, we together are Marty's parents. And that's what happens. Mokan's not here today. Iggy's joining us. Iggy, this is your first time in the studio with us, right?
This season, yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, because usually you replaced me, I think. I don't think it's the first time we're together.
Oh, it's true. Yes, it's true. Yeah, exactly.
He's also brought with him the tradition of eating while recording.
Yeah, it's the... And of course, because I was looking at you, I didn't notice he was mid-chew when I asked the question. Not helping out my teammate here. It's the theme of my season personally, but we'll get to 4B later, of course. It is St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
So we are drinking on air as promised. There we go. The sweet sounds of alcohol.
You almost died pre-show.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let's talk. Let's bring people behind the scenes. I am allergic to hazelnuts.
Yeah, this was a bad call by me.
I'm allergic to hazelnuts pretty famously. I think most people who know me know I'm allergic to hazelnuts.
Hazelnuts specifically or any
only
nut?
hazelnuts. Only hazelnuts.
Shit.
No Nutella for peas.
Yeah, all Italian desserts are off the table for me except for, of course, Zeppole, which we are also enjoying. My partner at work has a bag of hazelnuts that he attributes to like how Batman keeps a stash of kryptonite in case he needs to kill Superman. So he keeps a bag of hazelnuts. I'm not joking about this. He keeps a bag of hazelnuts in his desk in case he needs to kill me. Iggy was pouring me a drink, and I thought it was Frangelico, but I didn't know they made, because I'm allergic to hazelnuts, I didn't know they made a hazelnut liquor. I've only had their strawberry liquor. So thank you for saying it before having the drink. Otherwise, you would have been alone to do the show.
That was the eagle saving you there. So
It came close. It came very close to your
It
lips.
was literally to my lips.
So that would have been the second time I fuck up calling the audible.
Yeah.
The first time was calling the inaudible.
Yeah, it was a very ironic name that week.
You know what? I think that wouldn't have been as bad as killing one of the co-hosts.
Yeah, it would have been much worse. But we are here.
Yeah.
We are getting inebriated. The show's going to get sloppy. It always does when Mo's not here. I have a more open format in general, but the alcohol will not help, of course. But anyway, thank you, Iggy, for joining me. It's much better than having to do the show by myself, which I saw week one.
Oh, yeah.
The most I've ever worked in my time at FPF was week one. Eagle, of course, producing. We want to give a special shout out to all the beer named teams. The Party Crashers, Div 1, kind of beer themed. Lightweight, Simon, step up your game. Blackouts in 4A, Beer Belly Brigade 4B, Honey Martin 4B, Le Speakeasy 5B, Beer Nights Div 6, Brewers Div 6, and I'm sure we're forgetting some, of course, but we'll see. If they come up during the show, we'll give them a special shout out for sure.
Small thing just for our community update here. We've heard some news that some of the team profile pictures have not yet been uploaded, so we're working through that. Some of them were just, I'll call it, lost in cyberspace. Others were lost in pixels. Some of them are just awful. So for anyone who's missing a team photo, we're following up on that. For anyone who doesn't like their team photo, we'll retake them. We'll have photographers going around and updating that stuff.
Yeah.
And for the individual player pictures, so if you're new to the league and you haven't had a individual shot taken just yet, we will also have those photographers going around so we can get those uploaded. It's been a weird restart to the pandemic season, where staff and availabilities and resources are just stretched very, very, very thin. So help us work through this, and thanks for your patience.
It's honestly, and I want to draw special attention to that for a moment, because honestly, getting the league back up and running was challenging. I want to thank everyone who submitted a team and who's been involved in the season, because honestly, we were worried. We said, what does FPF look like after the pandemic? Well, after the pandemic is a weird way to look at it, but how does it look like post-lockdown? And now that we're open again, it's been really heartwarming to see everyone return. We want to thank you guys for your patronage because we know there are options out there, and we try to give you the best product. And not this week though, because we're getting drunk during the show. But most weeks we try to give you the best content, the best content, and the best league out there. So we really do try and be that for you.
That being said, I did try playing flag football on Zoom, and it's just not the same.
It's really not. It's kind of like when they had that vibrating football board where you can't affect the outcome. It's just it vibrates and whatever happens.
Oh, okay.
It's before your time.
You never seen those, like the horses that are like,
Yeah.
and you can gamble.
How
on
old
it?
are you, Iggy?
Oh, like the carnival stuff?
Yeah.
The one, like
Yeah.
type of thing.
But they used to have it like as a home board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That's
It so to be fair, it predates me.
You're
and I'm pretty
dating
old.
yourself there. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
dating myself. I'm much
Best date I ever have.
I'm much easier to please.
Yeah, you know what you like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
The left hand really kicks in.
Any FPF news, Eagle?
That was the FPF
Yeah,
news.
Any other FPF news?
I, as a scorekeeper myself, I'd say 50% of the teams are submitting their rosters. Just submit your roster. If
really?
you
That little?
yeah, I'd say 1 out of every 2. Yeah, if not 3 out of 4 are submitting, and
That's
then
a huge difference.
well, it's
By like 25%.
by 25%, but by one actual team. Just submit your roster. I mean, as soon as you know, it could even be the day before. The best is the day of, but it could be at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon while you're having your lunch break at work. The worst is the 5 minutes before the getting on the field.
I want to say something I shouldn't say on the show.
Then
Oh, no. Don't do it.
I'm going to do it. So here's a trick to all captains. And all it is it makes sure the scorekeepers are honest, right? It keeps them honest. Just submit your entire roster the day before the game.
I hate you.
And make the scorekeeper have to check who's there. But at least you're submitting your roster.
He's kind of right in that you have to do your job. So
But the whole point is to limit the contact. Now you're forcing me to go see you.
But just count.
Yes, but I have to count. I have to watch the plays starting. I have to set up the field. I have to make sure the benches are cleared. I have to make sure the soccer nets either are gone or have paddings on them.
see, this sounds like a you problem.
Yeah,
and
so
not a
yeah,
captain's
yeah,
problem.
You're right, Iggy. My mistake. Don't do that thing I
Yeah.
just said, which is a great idea.
Okay.
Don't do
All
it.
right.
Nobody wants you to do it. We start in Division 1 and 2 this week. Iggy, the big story, I think, All Hooks, game 1 of the doubleheader. They have a comeback win against the Incredibles.
Yeah, I saw that. At least I saw it on the scoreboard on our website, not necessarily in person.
Oh, no, we're everywhere all the time. Don't you know this?
Yeah. Yes. I saw a 25-6 lead for Incredibles, and it was actually the first game of their doubleheader for All Hooks. I saw early on at least in the play-by-play, 2 early interceptions by Seal Living, so a little razzled, but not unfazed. Able to come back and put 20 straight in the second half over Greg Stern and Mr. Terry Tam, who was just here with us. Yeah. So a
Good
nice
game
read.
overall by Greg Stern. By from what we've seen, he finally seemed to be getting his footing a little bit. But the interceptions, of course, being the problem.
You're sorry to pull the curtain back a bit, but your ring fell off, and it just makes it seem like you don't want to be married.
No, it's not that at all.
I'm flattered.
So the worst part is, I have a few rings. My most expensive one is missing because in wintertime, my hands don't swell and it comes off more easily. And yeah.
Okay.
So that happens now and again. I do want to be married. I love my wife, and that's what happened. Iggy, I'm sorry you've missed your chance. Maybe in another lifetime, you and I could be together.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe in another
So
lifetime.
the part that's surprising to me in this game is that All Hooks actually come from behind to take a big win over a team. Because we actually see in Game of the Week, this usual squad, it's the reverse. They blow big leads at the
But
end.
the thing is, because of how quickly it's kind of like if the Golden State Warriors sucked at defense, I know All Hooks defense got better, blah, blah, blah. Their defense is still not great. If if the Golden State Warriors stuck that defense, they can still always come back in a game because of how quickly they can score. And when things kind of break all Hook's way, that can happen. It's just inconceivable to me that Incredibles wouldn't score in the second half.
Yeah, that's the surprising part. And I mean, even they're doing it without Jeremy White there as well. He like I saw in Game of the Week, he wasn't the one quarterbacking. I think it was Nick Blais. But that's
it was Seal Levine in this game here.
Yes. But I'm just overall to say that Jeremy White wasn't there. He's probably one of the better defenders on the team. So to shut out Incredibles is quite.
He calls the D, if I'm not mistaken. That said, they did have Oliver Surrey, who's an excellent defender.
Yes,
it's more their issues on defense is not personnel; it's more conceptual.
Yeah,
which
is so. We say it all the time. I don't get it.
No, because they have the athletes
and they have the football acumen to call the plays and to be in the right spot at the right time and see. Hey, I'm covering a zone. No one's in front of me. Take a look. Spin your head backwards. Take a look.
So they are getting better, and I think
yes, they are.
I think as they're playing higher division, it's actually training them to be more disciplined, play better defense.
True.
But is it that they're all guys who're so athletic that their entire lives they've kind of got away with just going out and making plays?
Yeah, and compensate, like overcompensating for their probably. Yes.
So here's a hot take. As they're going up in divisions, the defense becomes less and less relevant because
Also
it
true.
is all about making those aggressive plays,
But
right? It's not about getting the tackle. It's about shooting the ball. So if they're let's just go hypothetical. They're baiting people by leaving open space so they can undercut
so
balls.
Dangerous in Div 1 and 2.
Yeah,
but that's the only way you get stops in Div 1 and 2.
The ball gets
Yeah,
so fast.
I mean, it's hard, especially
Maybe it's 4D chess type of thing,
I mean, he was saying in a hypothetical. So, yeah.
very, very hypothetical.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in game 2, they blow out the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
In all hooks, right? So great night for all hooks. When you get two wins in a doubleheader, it's not a better feeling.
And if you're playing on like multiple teams, if you win both or 3 games or 4 games, however many teams you're on, best feeling in the world. Just did you go undefeated in a weekend or whenever you're playing? And the Apocalypse took a picture. If you put up their picture, Eagle, for the Apocalypse, they put up an interesting team photo. They have our unique pennies that Rob Campana
is Jeff Rosenblatt's picture here the least flattering picture?
Does he play on Beer Belly Brigade?
Is he getting ready for Lamaze classes?
For what class?
Lamaze. Is he pregnant? Is the reference.
I'm just happy Paul Lapierre's photos have been consistent for the past 25 years.
Yeah, he's always looking kind of upwards, and yeah.
I like that sentence had an inflection right at the end, just like his head.
Yeah, exactly. Both myself and Paul Lapierre were question marks in that statement. I actually saw the Apocalypse roster and I like it, but there does seem to be something missing, and it's kind of been what it feels like. The roster's kind of thin. If anyone's missing, it's really problematic for them. If I'm not mistaken, John Laristis missed this game.
Okay.
That's a big piece to be missing.
Yeah.
Borderline FPF Hall of Famer, right? Like a guy who's received votes every single time is he's always like outside looking in, right? And to not have that ability on your roster, of course.
So they obviously have Paul Lapierre's obviously snapping for the team. So they have legit snapper. Legit Div 1-2 quarterback in Rosenblatt. I think you've argued that over the.
He reminds me. So he started in a league playing with Corey Pecker. Corey Pecker was one of these guys who, despite being a legitimate pro athlete in that he literally played an NHL game with the Calgary Flames. He was in their system. Double check Eagle if he played a game. I'm pretty sure he played a game with the
Corey
Flames.
Pecker.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was in their system, so he was a legitimate professional athlete, but not a football player. And he was not a natural thrower of the ball, but just his vision was so impressive that I remember playing against him in, like, I want to say Div 3. I was like, this guy is not much. And then, like, 2 seasons later, it was like legitimately competing in Div 1 while my team was still in Div 3. And I was like, oh, I was wrong. And like Jeff Rosenblatt was a guy starting in Div 6. I was like, I don't see it. And then, like, 2 seasons later, he's like pushing the finest in an FPF fall game, and I was like, oh, no, I was wrong about it. And I've told him this before, like, I was wrong, dude. Like, he's talented, right? Like, he's got that same vision, he's got the same patience,
right?
But I do think he still needs the benefit of having the right pieces around him, and
Right.
it does seem they just seem a piece short.
He was drafted in the 6th round, the 166th overall by the Calgary Flames, but
That's
never
crazy.
made his way out of the
No,
OHL,
okay.
AHL. But I mean, Jesus.
Still, it may have been preseason. I do know he did play some time, but I could be wrong entirely. But I remember him playing some. Either way, he was
That's
a
impressive.
professional athlete
Yes.
for the NHL, whether
Yeah.
or not he played in the league or not.
Standing on the same turf that I am, like
Yeah.
type of thing. Yes. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's impressive.
And he can't give me hockey tickets, bastard.
So my point being, they have the snapper, they have the quarterback. Raul Barudi, number
Very
1
good.
wide receiver 1. I think they're missing the wide receiver 2. I mean, Stephen Osmond is really good.
But unused,
Yeah.
right? Like
Sure.
he has a single target in this
Yeah.
game. Paul Lapierre being that security blanket. Darnell Kevis Riley.
He's like a
Not play-
3-4.
Yeah, he hasn't played a lot in this division.
Yeah.
So right, so like he's still adapting to competition.
Yeah.
Because
I think-
and Pat Johnson, same thing.
So is a wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
I think you can slot in Darnell as a wide receiver 4. I think they're missing the wide receiver 2.
that's
I think
and like again, John Lewis, this gives you if not 2, 1A.
there. Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
So,
Okay.
so definitely that's the give. But that's kind of what I felt about the roster was like if anyone's missing, they're not as dangerous as they seem. And
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
we've kind of seen that this season where they're being hurt by how thin they are as a roster.
Mhm.
We see already Raul Barudi only playing a single game, Sean Kennedy only playing a single game, Noah Gropert's on the roster but hasn't played a game.
Mhm.
The only 2 players who have played every single the only 4 players, who played every single game are Darnell Kevis Riley, Paul Lapierre, Raul Barudi, and Stephen Osman. So again, of the 6 possible positions, only 4 of them have been occupied every single game
Right.
by returning players,
Yeah.
right? So that's something to look out for.
So this team has both good news and bad news in terms of their upcoming schedule. They have a lot. I mean, Division 2 is very non-parity, if I want to call it that, where you have a lot of teams that are 3-1, 3-0, and then a lot of teams that are 0-3, 0-4. But if you look at the Apocalypse schedule, they have coming up in their next 6 games Outlaws, Incredibles, and Team Swoosh on their schedule. So 3 of their 6 games are other teams that are also winless. So if they get those ones, they end up being 500 up till now type of thing. I mean, they need another one between all the other games, but they're not completely out of it, which is the good news, and those matchups can be competitive.
I have 2 questions. One's the Eagle, one's the Iggy. It's also good news, bad news. Whenever I ask Iggy something, it's good news. Whenever I have to talk to Eagle, it's bad news.
Okay.
But they're about different things, and I like it because it allows me to ask a question and then let you guys do all of the work. So I really do enjoy this kind of thing. Eagle, the algorithm has made it such that quarterbacks and teams are starting to progress upwards, right? Because as teams are more successful, as players are more successful, especially quarterbacks, that's where the greatest impact is. We have a specific cap for quarterbacks. We're seeing quarterbacks move up that way, right? Is this kind of what we expected, where quarterbacks, either in their first or second try in a division like Division 2, are starting to struggle? Like in the case of Stephen Harpersad, in the case of Greg Stern, these are guys who've been successful in lower divisions, but haven't had a lot of experience in Division 2.
Somewhat. I think and this is a much larger conversation than I want to have in the next 90 seconds.
You
but
only have 90 seconds to have it.
I think the tricky part when it comes to this is that as you move through the divisions, not just the way you play the game, but the way everyone plays is very different in terms of the size, the speed. I hate to admit it, but the refereeing, right? The way things are officiated. A little bit anyways. So because of that, systems that would work or strategies that would work in your Division 6, 5, 4, 3 to a degree, because 3 I think is where you start seeing the pivoting point.
Yeah.
But 1 and 2 is an entirely different game. Like we talked about it earlier for All Hooks. Defense, and you joke of defense is stupid, but defense is a very different mentality in your upper divisions. It's not about making a stop on downs. It's about making a play on defense. And if that means you have to undercut a ball and get burned for a touchdown, that's fine because you're going to score and then you go again next time on defense, right? So it's all about gambling on those big plays because that's the turning point in those upper divisions versus wait till 4th down and try and make a stop on a ball type of thing. That doesn't happen very often the higher up you get.
So I've tried to coach up lower division defenses to try and do this. And the biggest difference is the mental conditioning of in low divisions not wanting to give up a big play, and in the higher divisions you don't get to like you see guys give up like miss on undercutting a ball and give up a touchdown on a slant, and it's not defeating. It's like okay. Whatever. You try to make a play.
Yes.
When low divisions, Division 4, 5, 6, you see guys get down themselves. It's like, I'd rather you do that than give up a hook in your face uncontested all the time. But it's just like the biggest thing, I think there's Division 1 athletes sprinkled throughout FPF. But the Division 1 mentality takes a second to get there. And Division 2 mentality takes a second.
I think you're onto something there. That it's the mentality, it's the way you play the game. And I kind of disagree with Eagle. I think getting a stop on defense on downs is huge in Division 1 and 2.
It never happens though.
Exactly. So that when it does, it's huge.
Oh yeah, of course. But that's the thing though. Most of the time, it's because there's an interception or because there's a miscommunication on a play and everything, or a defender makes a great play because they undercut a ball. Otherwise, every team is running all hooks and driving down the field.
Yeah.
The reason that doesn't happen in Div 1-2 because everyone in the flats is saying, you stopped, I am going for that ball, and if you're running a hook and go, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah. Agreed. What was your question for me?
I don't remember, so I'm just going to ask another one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I wanted to write it down, and then I didn't do it.
Yeah, that was,
It'll come up, whatever. In the meantime, I want to talk to you, Iggy, about the theme of the week, which is sort of the quarterback carousel in FPF in week 4.
What does that mean, quarterback carousel, exactly?
So a carousel is
a carousel is?
With the horses. Yes.
It's a really shitty ride.
Yes.
That is meant for small children who are really dumb and don't know better.
So and does the point go to where a kid thinks one horse is better than the other, so they try a different one?
I didn't know where I was going with it, but you found it for me. So Iggy, man, teammate of the year.
Thanks. I should be on more often for calling the inaudible in
calling
week
the
2.
Inaudible
in week 2.
Honestly, I guess we were in studio together. We've never hosted together. You were producing last time.
Yes, true.
Yeah. But nobody knows that because
I was behind.
It was inaudible.
Yeah.
But we saw one example. It's not really a carousel situation per se, but Dan Lazara plays his first game for Gryffindors. Was that just rust?
Well, you say, struggles here on the script, that they struggled.
They didn't win, is what I meant to say. It's a fancy way of saying they didn't win the game.
Because he put up 5 TDs, no picks. Maybe the completion percentage wasn't on point for him.
That's the thing I noticed.
Okay, there you go.
The thing I noticed was, I've been on record saying, to me, I don't do the LeBron Jordan thing, the best versus second best. It doesn't matter. It's splitting hairs. Like the top tier of quarterbacks in FPF are basically Joel Maher, Kevin Wyatt, Dan Lazara. If you want to throw Alexander Hughes, I won't fight you.
Yeah.
Sure. He's awesome.
It's just on any, and you know what? That's the beauty of FPF. On any given night, anyone can beat any team.
Exactly.
And that's why you go and stay to watch games and play the games.
Yeah.
Just because if Braves was going to beat All-Stars all the time, why even bother to go to the game?
We'll talk about that game in a sec too, for sure. Yeah. But Dan Lazara to me is that top elite echelon of quarterbacks in FPF.
Right. So struggling.
I don't think it's debatable, right? Like.
Yeah.
And so when I say struggling, it's obviously like.
Relative.
Relative to his ability.
Right.
And it's we're not like when you're to that level, we're not even gauging you against competition. We're gauging you against your own ghost
and expectations.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the 5 touchdowns, 200 yards, clean game.
Yeah.
But Dan's a risk averse. He's a combination of a guy who takes shots but is fairly risk averse as well.
Right.
But the completion percentage to me is what I found shocking.
And the AJ Gomes 4 receptions to 10 targets. That's what stands out off the page.
Because those two, it's usually blindfolded, right? We saw it in the finals in springtime, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And them getting that championship came down to that. I did see on Instagram that Dominic Mano standing by himself in the end zone, and Dan Lazare had no problem with that. I was like, I'll take this easy touchdown, no problem, you know.
But yeah, so maybe you are onto something there about maybe showing just a tad bit of rust. Although he's been at Stade de Bear on the off nights where he's not playing, just throwing the ball around with a couple of his guys. I mean, he probably does that anyways.
Yeah,
but
I will say
now I'm seeing it.
There's something about football specifically. I noticed this in my first week as well. Obviously, there's a gulf of difference between Dan Lazare, quarterback, and myself, a quarterback. But
but where are you going with this?
I'm saying, but either way,
interested.
like to varying degrees, we all suffer the same thing. Where having not played for an extended period of time because FPF got delayed, we're all creatures of habit. And I remember like missing a throw to a guy like Justin Blanchard, who I throw to all the time, and I was like, oh, I don't think I've missed that throw in 3 years, right? Like that specific throw, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's something to it where, specifically with AJ Gomes, because if you see it with Sam Ashton, with Dominic Mann, with Isaiah Lard, those are guys who they'll get open and Dan will find them. The guy who Dan will throw a ball and say, listen, make the play, like get that little bit of separation, I'm going to put it on the spot, is AJ Gomes. Yeah. And so when the ball's not getting to that precise point where it's not quite back shoulder, it's just out of reach, or that's where I think the rush shows. And it's because on 4th and 3rd down, the guy he's going to look to is his number one, which is AJ Gomes.
Yeah. So the timing's just a millisecond off, and that's the difference in this game, at least by losing by 14.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider. But that said, again, one thing I forgot in week 1 of the show, Flybosac reigning winter champions, right?
I think it's gonna be a running theme. You're gonna go with this.
The worst part is, dude, they're my favorite Devon team. I was so happy for them. I you have to understand this. Like when I've come to sort of truly appreciate the Finest and D Boys when they were still here, but when I started, like, I kind of saw I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, oh, I'm part of this new FPF media. Like, the hell with the old heads, you know? Like, I don't need guys telling me how good Bill Russell was. It doesn't matter anymore, you know? Like, and again, I've learned my appreciation for the Finest, but my appreciation for Flag Mustang was instant because I was like, these are the guys that are going to take over FPF.
Right.
Of course, this is before Dan Lazare made it to Div 1. Just the first time I played Dan Lazare, by the way, was Div 5. So that's how quickly he rose to the top of FPF. And then of course the Braves made their way to FPF. But like to me, they were the incumbent, and forever they were like the bridesmaid and never the bride. And finally, they got to be the brides, which is every little girl's dream. So I'm happy for them.
So yeah, we were very happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else catch your eye in Div 1?
No, I think we have a long show. We have a lot of content to go through today. So
that's true. We'll touch on it. We do have the FPF mailbag.
Yeah.
So if we do get through your division, I'm doing that thing. TSL is what they call it in radio. Time spent listening. That's what everyone's trying to get for. So I'm trying to increase our time spent listening.
Yeah.
By forcing everyone to listen to the entire show because the divisions are out of order, and we're going to touch on topics outside of that when we get to the mailbag. We'll go back to certain divisions as it becomes appropriate.
Don't forget to check the description. We've set up chapters on YouTube so you can click on your division to shoot forward.
God damn it. But there's other stuff.
Yeah.
So there's other stuff.
Stay tuned.
Division 4A.
Yeah.
Another quarterback situation as Spears Cougars turn to Santino Sperania and defeat the mighty Takeover 40-21. I read that like Ron Burgundy, word for word, what was in the script. Thank you, Iggy, for setting that up for me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Super surprised by the score.
A week after I said Takeover's the best team in Division 4.
Exactly. Like I don't understand. 40-24. Like Takeover was on a roll with Ian Einiber. Yeah. You say it differently.
No, that's the one. That's not.
Okay.
You're saying it perfectly wrong. No, wait, Ian Einiber. Sorry,
I believe it's General Eibenheiber. President.
Einiber? President Einiber.
Sure. Okay.
I feel
you don't get the reference?
Inebriated at the moment.
Inebriated. Nice. So Sparrows Cougars taking a break from Vince Pisano. I don't know if that was he was on the roster. He had a no receptions for one target.
He's a very good receiver as well, by the way.
Okay.
Like he's not as known.
Yeah.
He actually prefers playing receiver, from what I understand. He wasn't supposed to be quarterback for this team.
Okay.
It was supposed
Go
to
on.
be
Alessandro Barassoni?
no older Eagle. Who was the first superstar?
Mario Rinaldi?
Arminio Yadaluka. Thank you.
Yes.
Arminio, I've said this in previous podcasts. He
Yeah.
was like FPF's first superstar.
Okay.
He was like before Kevin Wyeth, like he was like, oh my god, this guy's incredible, right? And like he's still very, very good.
Right,
Like
yeah.
he's Division 4-3 easy. He can compete Division 3 easily.
Yeah.
And I want to say he got injured before the season. I want to say he tore his ACL.
Game 1.
Or yeah, game 1 exactly.
'Kay.
And
That's a Colin Coward pour right there.
No, it's fine.
It's like I'll let it settle. It's time. We got time. Santino Sperania is a very good quarterback too. Also coming through the Cougars system.
He's doing real well with the read as well.
Yeah.
I've seen him a couple games. He looks the part.
Yeah,
he looks the part, and he's using that experience he's gaining in FPF and using it in Division 4.
And what we saw was a lot of targets going to Nick Rapini, which is not something that Vince Pisano has done as much because
yeah,
that's the familiarity. They're sort of the same generation of Cougars, right? So they have that same. They have that familiarity. In a
What
sense.
is your favorite generation of Cougars? Because I like 35 to 50.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever was at L'Action when I was 19 years old is my favorite generation of Cougars.
yeah. I'll go with Bleu Nuit.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
But yeah, he's more of the using your leg. Obviously, I think it's fair to say obvious. You more of a athletic, using your legs. 5 runs for 72 yards and 2 TDs on 5 runs, running the length of the field twice. That's huge. That's a game breaker that you need to watch out for on defense. That probably took takeover by surprise, and they didn't account for it coming in.
Well, so one thing is, if you don't know Anthony Seja, and I don't know if Ian Ebers played him a lot because I think they've always been separated by a division.
Yeah,
Anthony Seja is an incredibly aggressive
yes,
defensive
in the
player.
flats. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
in the
especially.
flats, if I've played against him a lot, at one point I was like, I know how to use this to my advantage.
Okay.
But if you don't know it,
Yes.
man, it's an easy pick to throw.
Yeah. Okay. And he had a pick in this game. Yes,
he had a
did.
pick, absolutely.
Yeah, I can probably know the route he picked off.
Yeah.
On a Vincent Benjamin.
It's either
specific route.
on a slant or quick out, and
It's
he
a
undercut
slant,
it,
yeah.
and he's great at it.
Yes, he
he's
is.
great at it.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
Because again, if you just look at the takeover roster, it's stupid.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
It's not. I know why you said you marqueed them as the number 1 team.
But I will say that
before
the top tier talent, Vincent Benjamin, Will Power, Julian Wilson, Ian Niebuhr.
Not Ryan Dobbs-Garnett.
I mean, he's fine. He insta-messaged me, by the way, because he knows. So, again, if we pull back the curtain a little bit, sometimes I say negative things about players because I legitimately hate them. But sometimes it's tongue-in-cheek because they're friends or they work for FPF. And so, like, it's fun to sort of do that.
Yeah.
But the thing with the thing with Spears Cougars is they don't have necessarily that marquee talent, right? Sperania's, they don't necessarily have that. The two of them, Santino and Dante, they don't necessarily have the cachet. They're obviously incredibly fast, incredibly gifted, but they don't have they haven't really melded their experience yet. But I think they're a deeper roster, and I think that's the issue with Takeover is.
Hold on. You think Sparrows Cougars is a deeper roster than Takeover?
Because I think there's
There's a controversial statement here.
Well, it's just that the drop off from the top level talent to the bottom is greater in Takeover than in.
I completely disagree with you.
Who do you hate on Spears Legion?
Cougars.
Spears Cougar. Sorry.
Don't do this to me again.
But why do you?
Don't
you
do
have
this.
against
You
them?
did this. You did this to me already
You
when
did
I
this
was in
also.
Denver,
Yeah.
and you asked me to give you the 4 shittiest teams, and I just really took the teams that lost big in week 1, and Sparrows Cougars was one of them,
So
and
why
they
do you- why do you
probably
hate
all
them?
think I hate them.
Yeah. Why do you hate them?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm sending them flowers.
Because first of all, Junior Spears is a hero.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Absolutely.
No,
and I'm not even joking about that.
In all seriousness,
FPF royalty.
yes.
Not even joking.
Yeah.
And tackle royalty. So I don't know why.
And
you
as
hate
a
them.
human. as a human being.
I don't know why you hate them. Which of the players are you saying can't compete?
I'm the one who brought this game up because I was taken aback by the scoreboard, by their ability to really take over. So thank you.
I think if these two teams face each other 10 times, we would see TakeOver win 7 or 8 of those 10 games.
With Santino Speragna at quarterback?
I don't think Ian...
I'd say 6-4.
I don't think Ian makes the same mistakes. Ian Niebuhr.
They caught them all. I think what it comes down to, obviously many things, but I think it comes down to that TakeOver didn't expect Santino at quarterback, and it completely changed their approach going into the game.
The other thing is you need a really good rusher to contain Santino, and I don't know if TakeOver really has that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they have that shutdown, the guy who can really take the angles and.
Yeah.
I don't want to linger on this too much, but I would say TakeOver has a history of being underprepared for teams that they haven't faced before or don't understand like that. And it's happened, I want to say, in every single playoffs and every single season where TakeOver finishes in the 8-2 or higher record and then get eliminated first round or their first game from a team where it's like, oh, we didn't expect that, and then just completely outmatched.
From a quarterbacking perspective, the thing that makes Ian Niebuhr great and fun is the same thing that can hold him back at times, and that he just wants to go sling it. And he'll throw. He's not scared. He'll throw up a jump ball to Will Power. He'll throw it to miss on Benjamin in coverage and say, "Listen, I trust you. Go make a play." He's a gunslinger, and at times it's costed him. And I think that this is a group he didn't respect in the way that he should have.
Yeah, I think
they're all incredibly smart football players. Yeah, right. So and I don't mean smart as code for non-athletic, by the way.
No,
we're in NCAA bracket season, and when people say smart, it usually means not as athletic as the top tier teams. But no,
but just surrounded with football knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
In general,
the Brotherhood are a team I was ragging on to start the season.
Me too. But now
I didn't see it. We're wrong.
They're the hottest team in Division 4A.
So which month would they be in the calendar? In the FPF sexy calendar,
be like the month of June, July, like really
that's
hot.
That's really hot.
They're, I'm telling you, their past 3 games, 140 points for, 19 against. They are obliterating their opponents.
And this is really bad.
Their opponents were Hurley and Sons, Sparrows, Cougars, not when they were good.
But
and
wait, are you saying something negative about Sparrows, Cougars?
Yes, yeah. And the third
and the third one was Les Bleus Branleurs. So
still they're just
this is the definition of #false kings. Now
so
Crazy Gordon Mall is impressive.
Crazy Gordon Mall in the 3 games he's played at quarterback has not thrown an interception.
He's
completing 77% of his passes.
This is incredible from the quarterback that I saw play for Yin and Yang in Division 2's co-ed in the fall season. He was throwing balls that were hitting the screens that divide the two.
We literally allowed him to throw the sideline pass because he wasn't accurate throwing the sideline pass.
So for him, and now Division 4.
We let it open.
Yes.
I remember that. I remember that game.
So now for now in Division 4A, for 16 TDs and no picks, and to be putting up the numbers offensively that he's doing, maybe he has a better set of receivers around him, but they're the hottest team in Division 4A.
So Minton Tat is the quarterback for Les Bleus Branleurs.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He doesn't play defense for them.
Why not?
Eagle asked that question because, Iggy, this is before your time. The first team Minton Tat played for was my team in Division 3, Moose, where he shut down an offense in Division 3 in his first game in FPF. He shut down an entire side of the field by himself, and the quarterback said, "I can't believe that guy shut down an entire side of the field." A Hall of Fame FPF quarterback, and Daniel Gentile, I believe he's FPF Hall of Fame, right?
I think so, yeah.
If not borderline. He said, "That's how good this guy is on defense." He's a monster. He doesn't play defense with LeBron. I think it's because he just doesn't want to when he's quarterback. Like, it's too much to deal with. But like, you gotta play defense, dude.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. I love the guy. You gotta play defense.
It doesn't sound like a winning formula.
And like Olivier Leverge, very good. Olivier Pilato, very good. These guys are legitimate talents, but like, you have this wrecking ball on defense.
Use it.
it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So thank you for.
Because he as long as he's been playing quarterback, which is as long as you've been in FPF media, he hasn't played defense. But he was known as a defensive stopper in FPF first.
So a score line like 42-7. Start using him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's time.
Like they got away with it in Div 5. But you moved up a division.
Yeah.
You know, like if you count like the subdivisions, you moved up basically 2 divisions.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta start using them.
I think what's intimidating about looking at this box score is that Kwesi Gordon Mull had all the different levels available based on those receiving stats, right? Like if you wanted something short, he could check it down. If you wanted something intermediate, he could hit those spots. If you wanted a deep ball, he can hit that one. And Les Bleus Branleurs did nothing about it. Like
and that's not just this game. That's the past 3 games. I've seen the scoreboards for it. It's across the board. You don't know who to stop. You don't know who to contain.
The more that Kwesi Gordon Mull can actually set his feet and go through progressions. Rather than waiting for the rusher, trying to break the rusher, throwing off platform.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to suggest here. Like, is he in the running maybe for quarterback of the year here?
I mean, like he's averaging more than 5 touchdowns a game. He might throw 50 touchdowns in 9 games.
Why, he already missed the game? Why are you saying 9? Game. Oh, okay.
Jeremy Ronson threw the first game.
Yes.
That's
why
we reacted. Like it took us 4 weeks to realize, Jeremy Ronson's not the quarterback.
Yeah. When you asked me, your shit teams, 4 shit teams, or tick and talk or whatever you did.
It wasn't that. It was 4 teams rated under 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, that was the Rotten Tomatoes segment. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jeremy Ronson. Those stats didn't look good. It's gonna be a tough season. I was wrong.
For LBB, the rest of their games, is there hope here? Is this a GG go next season type of season?
Look, I appreciate them taking a shot to go up in 4A. I thought they could have maybe come in with a more stripped down roster and maybe compete in 4B. Nomad's big fun. Are games I think they can win. Mongoose don't blow teams out, so maybe they can sort of keep it close and like that's maybe like an upset on the schedule kind of thing.
This is the Brotherhood we're still talking
about? Bleu Branleurs.
Oh, LBB, yeah.
LBB, yeah. So like at best a 3-win season, but that's okay. Like they're it's the first season in a new division. That's fine. Like you can't expect to move up a division and dominate. Like it's great if that happens. But and you're a great example of this in 4B, right? With Honey Martin.
Yeah.
Like Honey Martin has never been an issue with talent. It's been an issue with weak schedules, but like the reason, you guys have generally moved up through time in FPF, and it's always a new challenge, right? Like,
yes.
So
so I'd say the one, it's always been more of a natural progression to move up by via of Eagles cap. The one season which we could
not my cap.
No cap, baby.
No cap. The one season where we could have stayed in the Division 6, Division E, and we actually decided willingly to move up to D2.
It was the right decision. I remember that season.
Exactly. We went 4-6. We made the playoffs. We played that Baby Kangaroos team as the 8th seed, and we knew going in it was going to be incredibly hard, but the season experience that it's given us is invaluable now, like 3-4 years later.
It makes you a different person. I'm saying, like, especially
as a different FPF player. Yes.
Yeah, like you realize what being open is in different divisions. Like,
yes.
When I've gone back to like snap in Division 6, I was just like, I remember at one point I had to snap in like either Tier 3, Division E, Division 6, whatever it was, lowest division.
It was a spring season.
Yeah.
We were with the pink team.
Yeah, and in 6 games I caught like 56 passes or something stupid. Like, it's just when you're used to being open in the higher division,
it's even easier.
It's just not the same. You just know what to do with your body. You know what open is.
Yes.
Versus as you move up, you have to learn those lessons, and that's what Les Bleus Branleurs are experiencing now. So I hope to see what that looks like. Top season, I never know. At the beginning of their seasons, I never know what to make of top season.
And even now, after 4 weeks, like they just blew out Small Giants, who were 3-0 going into this game. Easy pick for me on game of the week, game picks in my articles. Small Giants, I don't even have to look twice. And then I see 52-25. I'm like, did the scorekeeper get the score wrong here? Like,
was he drinking on calling the audible? Yeah. No. The thing was with Top Season, like, they kind of remind me of this past couple of years of Miami Heat teams, where it's just in a league. If you could play 11 people in FPF on the field at the same time, they'd probably be the best team. They're just always super deep. Like, every guy on the roster is there for a reason and does things well and can fill in for anybody else. And most of the players always show up. That's another thing about Top Season, right?
Yeah.
But the question's always like, Sean McGrath, can he play quarterback at this position at this level? Charles Vero is a really good number 2. Are like the Perrins going to be legitimately like, you know, like top 2 receivers? And Thomas Gordon's always excelled at lower divisions. Is he going to be okay at Div 4 as like a top tier defender? And the answer is yeah.
He has 5 picks now.
Yeah, no, because I've played with him.
And so have I.
He's incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
And he kind of has he's the kind of defender who gets a feel for what the offense is doing. And looks to take it away. Yeah. And similar to what we talked about in Division 1, like, if he gives up a big play, that's all right.
Oh,
I'll get you later.
Yeah,
I'll get you back.
That's his mentality. That's the body expression and communication that he gives off.
Because again, he knows a pick 6 means more than giving up a touchdown, right?
Yes,
like okay, if I make a mistake, I know what you're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, like, again, if you look across the roster, the 2 Perrins, Charles Vero, Hassani Worrell, it's stacked. It's stacked, but not like all these guys are stars, but it's stacked in that there's not a weakness.
Yes, I agree with that statement. Yeah.
And maybe that's the difference between them and small giants.
It's just, it's not Matthew Lerner. It's Justin Lerner at quarterback.
But also, it's not Justin Lerner at receiver, right? Like,
yeah, but he's killing
no,
it.
No, don't get me wrong.
Here's another like professional
another
athlete,
guy
right?
who's a borderline professional athlete,
right? With the MLB.
Yeah.
Atlanta Braves, is that
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
as you once told
correct me if I'm wrong, Justin. From what I know, Justin had workouts with the Atlanta Braves.
Or Eagle.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because I didn't get. I got that info from Simon Dashney, who's often wrong. But either way, Justin Lerner is a top tier baseball player.
Yeah.
And the thing is, not like he's an incredible receiver. So replicating him on offense is difficult, despite his ability to excel at the quarterback position.
Right, but I agree with that. He's probably, I haven't seen him throw too many times to get a good picture of him, but I'd have to say he's probably a better receiver just because of what I've seen as a receiver.
I mean, he's a better receiver just because it's harder to be a better quarterback than he is a receiver.
Fair.
Right?
And all that being said, 37-12, 38-15, 31-19 on the Bruins.
It's the points allowed. It's the points allowed that's shocking.
Yeah.
And the 52 points versus never giving up more than 2 scores.
Yes, exactly.
Because Darren McDazian's a great defender.
Yes.
And Justin Lerner, obviously, on defense. Theo Pekelis. These are all guys who are smart, capable, but they literally just couldn't stop the deep ball.
Yeah. Oh, it was in particular the deep
13
ball.
13 of 18. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just
It's
just Sean McGrath exploiting his athletes over the small giants athletes is how I interpret the game. So you suggested a segment.
Yes,
here.
I did suggest a segment. Actually, you know who suggested it? I'll give him credit.
Who?
Mr. Mokan. Mr. Fly Guy himself.
So you know it's a terrible segment.
Maybe.
Also, we haven't done that fly thing yet. You're doing things out of order like we do on Hot Sauce Sports.
Crap.
Eagle, what is Hot Sauce Sports?
It is a sports podcast which you should definitely listen to
and subscribe to and rate the Hot Sauce Sports. But yeah, so yes, we'll get to whether or not Mokan has got his hand stuck in his fly or not. But in the meantime, why don't you introduce it? Since
So I mean, we've seen and been scrolling through the NFL offseason. Many times you'll see this on Instagram and stuff. So we're gonna name 3 quarterbacks, or I'll name you 3 quarterbacks.
Give me
Peas, and I want you to give me who you're starting, who you're sitting, and who you're cutting at quarterback.
I want you to rate all of my decisions by a percentage on Rotten Tomatoes. If you're reviewing my decisions on Rotten Tomatoes,
'Kay.
what percentage would you give them?
All right, so here are the 3 quarterbacks. One of them we just talked about. So Kwesi Gordon-Mall.
So the guy who's thrown 16 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in 3 games.
Yeah.
Who's the fastest person in FPF?
Yeah.
Okay.
But at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Not just not
Okay.
his defensive prowess. Ryan Garber.
My former quarterback in FPF Junior. That's fair.
Yeah. It's
Dick.
not biased whatsoever.
Yeah.
And Gab Wiseman.
Good friend of mine who I've known for 10 years. Okay.
Who are
cool.
you sitting? Who are you starting? Who are you cutting?
This is because of the Spears Cougars thing, huh?
No. No.
I'll start with sitting.
Okay, who are you sitting? Kwesi, Ryan, or Gab?
Because I want him on the roster, I'm going to sit Ryan Garber.
Okay. You want his experience to grow.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he was, for a first-time coach in FPF, he was the quarterback you want. It's like, this is the play. Come back like, oh, I read it like this? Yeah. Execute, no problem. It was seamless. Seamless. And what I've seen him become is out of this world. Patience, delivery, all of that stuff.
A bit awkward in his motion.
That's the thing.
But
is
whatever.
If I look at pure athleticism combined with upper division knowledge, I have to start Kwesi Gordon-Mall.
Ooh, so you're cutting Gab Wiseman.
It sucks. You put me in a shitty spot.
Well, I did it on purpose. I gave you 3 good quarterbacks. But not.
I don't even. Here's the thing: is
it was.
I'm starting Kwesi Gordon-Mall just because my preference is stylistically is Ryan.
Yeah.
But you can't teach the things that Kwesi has. Right?
Yeah.
Like you can't teach his physical skill set.
Yeah. I forgot to mention you're starting him in Division 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about Division 4.
And here's the thing: is Gab Wiseman, as a receiver, by the way, Div 3 easily, no problem.
Easy. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Snapper, maybe even Div 2.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, as a quarterback, he's been a lower division quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's built. I mean, this is pot calling the kettle. He's built a system to emphasize his strengths and diminish his weaknesses.
Sure.
Which is the thing to do when you're not blessed with Kwesi's abilities.
Yeah.
But again, you can't teach Kwesi's abilities.
Okay,
and
so
that's why I go with Kwesi. Rate my decisions from 0 to 100%.
I'll go with your sitting Ryan Garber as a hot pile of bias.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
have strong biases. I've never hidden it.
Yeah. I'll go with your decision to cut Gab Wiseman as a 1.5 Rotten Tomato.
Okay. Jeez. Oof.
Yeah, 1.5%.
So what would you have rated it if I cut Ryan Garber?
Like 50%.
Why would you hate Ryan Garber?
Why
do you hate Ryan Garber?
Flip of a coin.
Why do you hate him?
Why do you hate flipping coins?
Because I like to be in control. Damn it.
And I'll rate your Kwesi Gordon-Mall start at 98.5. That way, your 98.5 plus 1.5 equals 100.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Eagle, what
Quick
would you do
maths.
in the spot?
I would.
No rationale. Just give me what you got.
I would change to 4B and talk
Alright.
about that instead.
Perfect. I think he's suggesting we're going over our
Yeah,
segments.
we always do.
Yeah.
Triple B versus Arush was a chippy affair. 2 URs and 1 OC, all on Arush.
Yeah.
And some 40 bomb TDs, but Arush comes out on top 25-18.
Yeah, so I talked about this game in my article. I previewed it. I predicted a tie with the, just going off the board there. I predicted a 25-25 tie. And if I'm not mistaken, Arush did have the ball at the in the last possession, but we're unable to score. So Beer Belly coming up with, I think you mentioned this last week that you think Alex Fafard's up there for quarterback of the year, but that was infinity odds to 1 going in. I mean, we can talk about something else, but
I played against him in Div 6 like a year ago,
Right.
and I was like, yeah, he'll be okay. I didn't know he'd be this good so quickly.
Yeah.
He was a scramble, 1 read quarterback, basically. And to see him succeeding at this level is
and hitting the long bomb. Those were the 2 things he was known for his good deep ball.
Well, because he's got a great arm.
Yeah.
He's got a cannon.
The good deep ball and the running ability.
And he doesn't look like he would have good running ability.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I know what you're.
If you okay, we talk about Quasi. If you see Quasi, you know this guy can move, right?
This guy's gonna run on you. But I mean, I think for the most part, you can say that about a lot of people that they don't look like great. Ben McMahon, you look at him, you don't think he's gonna run all over you, do you?
True. Well, the flag height helps him.
Yeah, yeah.
But his cut is. It hurts my ankles. I hope he doesn't get hurt, but he's gonna hurt himself with how hard he cuts.
Yeah, he finally said, I heard him on the sidelines, I'm finally not injured.
Yeah,
so he's like, watching
the amount of non-contact injuries, like nothing major, thank God.
Yeah.
But the amount of non-contact injuries I've seen him suffer is nonsense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to get back to Alex Fafard, like, I saw him as a guy, one read, if it's not there, he's gonna run, or he'll chuck it deep. And it's not that anymore. It's concerted efforts to attack deep. It's taking what the defense is giving him. Yeah. It's using his legs to develop throwing windows, and running if he needs to.
Gain the first down, yeah.
Yeah, it's a more intelligent game design.
And by more intelligent, specifically, what you're trying to say is that when they're up by a score or two, they're killing the clock.
Oh yeah,
they're and it works.
They did this to me in a playoff game,
and they did this to me 2 weeks ago. It's so frustrating.
I was on the bench ripping my hair out because like they were up, and I was like, 2 plays, touchdown. Get back on the bench. 9 minutes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Exactly. Back on the field. Like, but that's part of quarterbacking in FPF.
Exactly. So. Like a lot of the Division 6 and 5 teams are go, hurry up offense. Even if you're up 2 scores. No. It doesn't always have to be that way. And it's one of the ways you can win. And they've gained now the experience to do that to Arouche. Arouche very similar though. Very similar style, very methodical, like driving up the field. Yeah. Seen them a couple times now.
Is Arouche good?
It's actually a good question.
I don't know. I've been talking about them for like 3 years at this point. I don't know. They're not bad.
Yeah. Who's
They're better finessers as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
That's what they feels like.
They're finessers that have actually learned to finesse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the quarterback? It's not Simon Loisier. That's the guy.
Eric Lalonde?
Yeah. He's a good quarterback. He throws a good ball.
Like Ryan Karoof.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
he throws a good hard ball and puts his receivers in positions to make like good plays on it and puts it away from defenders.
They don't put teams away.
No.
They don't come from behind. They just control games when they're up.
Yeah.
They beat who you think they're going to beat. And they lose games that infuriate.
So matchup dependent.
Yeah. And I don't understand why. Because when I've seen them play, I'm like, they're the best team in Division 4. And then they're never the best team in Division 4.
They're always just hovering. Maybe at best a 7-3 record.
Infuriating.
Yeah.
Are they good? Eagle, are they good?
Well, they're
having played them and almost winning. No, I don't think they are.
But see what I mean? How does that happen?
Exactly.
Because if you look at your roster, you look at their roster, how does that happen?
Yeah, they should blow you out like by 40-18 type of score.
Oh yeah.
But they don't, right?
No, it was very close. Which is strange. Every advantage in the book, yet they still managed to not run away with it. Yeah. And looking at their schedule, I mean, I don't see any gimmies on this either, which is the worst part. Maybe Sphinx, but even then.
You mean Aster Sphinx, because they're cheaters. No. I mean, Honeymoon are false kings, so maybe.
They're 2-2, so they are what their record says they are. They're average.
Yeah, which is that. Like, would you be shocked if they ended 5-5? No. Are you shocked if they finished 8-2? No. Like, you know.
But let's just go with their next 2 games: Team Ethnic and Les Montagnards, which actually those 2 teams played each other yesterday. Can they get 1 win out of their next 2 games?
Yeah. Can they lose both? Yeah.
Can they win both?
Yeah. My expert analysis, Iggy, is I don't know.
Crap. Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
because those 3 teams are kind of like good.
Yeah.
Like nothing incredibly special where you're like, oh my God, like this is ridiculous.
Nothing wrong with saying that. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. How can anything be wrong with me saying your team is good? But don't worry, someone will be offended. Golden Eagles, they made the switch. We talked about, again, the theme of the day.
Yeah.
Quarterback changes, quarterback controversies. I messaged Sarah Parker when I saw the roster sort of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, you're throwing into 4. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't belong into 4 then if you're throwing into 4 because you're awesome and I'm garbage.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I'm going to be throwing from Concordia, but I might play some games for Golden Eagles. When I started in FPF, Kevin Lubin was a superstar. Two-way superstar.
Yeah. With that hashtag NR rivalry.
This is before that. He played for
Even
Golden
before.
Eagles when I got there.
Okay, the Golden Eagles is
before Rogues, before all that.
Okay.
He was a guy who was brought on to play Division A in Mercenaries, and then like him and Alex David built Golden Eagles, which were chock full of tackle talent. Before my team, Checkmate, went 10-0. Golden Eagles were another team that went 10-0, lost in the playoffs. Like they were part of that lineage of Division 5 teams that went undefeated and lost in playoffs. But to me, Kevin Lubin is a guy who I think he's got to get out of his own head at times. We played with him in a co-ed.
Yeah, last year.
And I was telling him, like, dude, like I can't believe how good you are as a receiver. Like
he's amazing.
But he's like, no, man. Like he's like, I'm not that. Like he's just like, I'm getting lucky. Like,
no, he's an amazing receiver.
You're an incredible receiver.
Remember that ball you threw him to the back of the end zone?
Absolutely.
That was nuts.
Anyways, overthrow that he saved.
Yeah.
But he does that stuff all the time.
Yes,
and he has a huge game.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the answer is for Golden Eagles. Because whether Kevin Lubin or Sarah Parker is quarterback, you should win. You should win games. Donald Jacques, Alex David, Kevin Lubin, that's a really, really, really
solid
strong
it's a very solid
core.
roster. And they even dipped, kind of like Eagle did. They dipped into the free agent pool. He was actually there while I was kind of leading the FPF scrimmage. No, not scrimmage. Eagle, the combine. Yes, thank you. And he picked up Zach Nelson there. I believe he picked up another guy on the team. I can't remember. But they were both I'm like throwing balls to these guys, making them run routes, and I'm like, yeah, these guys are good. And he was there scouting and picked them up on his team. So he, even with the lower division cap ratings for these players, he picked up good guys. They're not just Wes Welkers off the streets in Walmart. So they are
Hall of Famers.
No.
I don't get it.
No, yeah, that was a bad analogy.
You're right. No one in the team is an NFL Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So they're 0-3.
Yeah.
Well, they were 0-2, or did one game not get uploaded? I forget. They were winless going into this game, and they needed a shakeup, like many other teams did, like Sparrows Cougars did with moving to Santino, and they got the big win. Golden Eagles, pulled a wild card. Here's our Sarah Parker. Put her at QB. Here, put Kevin Lubin, as you said, at wide receiver. And this time, not good enough. Unlike Sparrows Cougars, not good enough. They get blown out 42-21 by the Ballers team, which you played. I don't know what at this point, what can they do? That was their wild card, and they used it, and it didn't work.
I'm shocked. When we played Ballers, Justin Blanchard came to me and said, "Oh, this is the kind of team we beat. Where despite the fact that they win every matchup, they don't really understand concepts and so when you hear that Sarah Parker is thrown against that, you assume that's a win, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To break down an athletic, but not."
So the 4 interceptions to me, like they're athletic, so they can break on balls and stuff, but you can manipulate that because they're constantly trying to bait and like that's kind of what you want if you're that kind of quarterback, which Sarah Parker is, you know. And so I'm surprised by that. And again, like you have great games by Zach Nelson, Kevin Lubin, Alex Jortain, and it's the interceptions are the issue.
Yeah.
Eagle, you made some commentary on Sarah Parker recently that I thought was pretty apt.
Can you remind me on which one specifically?
No, it was in a text chain. It was about in the game of the week, some of the things you saw with regards to how
Yeah,
she's reading defenses?
I'm a little bit puzzled because, and maybe it's because we've seen her dominate.
Sorry to
other
interrupt you to
conditions.
ask you to do your job, by the way.
No, it's
I'm
fine.
sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
I'm curious to see what's going on because she's making very questionable decisions that are very out of character. And I don't think it's the speed of the game. Like we talked about it a little bit for the women's division, where maybe because there's like a rotating crew starting to get used to.
I can tell you the speed of the women's game is faster than 4B.
I would imagine so, right?
I score keep them. It's fast.
Dramatically faster than
It's
4B.
really fast.
So to me, it's just uncharacteristic throws to like defenders, throwing away balls, but into the middle of the field as opposed to
Yes.
sidelines
Yep.
and everything.
Yep.
Timing is off. So timing, I can be like, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, it just I don't know. It seems like there's a little bit missing in her game, and it's driving me nuts to try and to watch this because we know how good she
Yes.
can be.
Yeah.
So despite her skill set, she's somebody who plays to a system, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's not a gunslinger. She
I was
has
going
a
to add
developed system.
one more thing in. Sorry, Pease. It just came to me. Because she's playing 4B, she has to use the men's adult ball. So there's no
Correct.
women's equivalent in that. So that could also play into the fact that maybe she's
Fair.
trying to adapt to that new ball as well and getting used to it and struggling through that.
but-
like the grip on the ball is definitely difficult for her.
When it comes to the read thing, like again, there's myself. I know a lot of quarterbacks who, like me, are system quarterbacks. We develop a system and we call it a system.
Yeah.
We're not quarterbacks who do this thing that's outside of what we normally do. Is it that the people Sarah Parker are playing with, the team she's playing with in women's, are not exactly a team she played with in Tampa?
Right. It's not.
This team is not a team she's familiar with. Is it the lack of familiarity where they're not breaking where she expects them to? They're not. The spacing is not right. The timing is not right. Is that what this is? Because if you look at the roster,
in
it
the
doesn't
one
make sense.
game, in the one game sample size, yeah, you can argue that, and it would be a fair argument. She probably has the connection, and I think it again shows in the stats. She has that familiarity with Kevin Lubin. Have they ever played together? Or
Yeah, they played together in co-ed.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, right, with the pink basketball team.
Don't remember the team name, but yeah.
Third down for what?
Finals.
Third down for what?
Third down for what? Yeah.
Yes. So they have that chemistry, and it showed. Yeah. I think that's definitely possible. Yeah.
Vultures 32, Bandits 31.
Oh, what a game!
Awesome game.
Fuck.
Awesome game.
That was really fun to watch. I was just wrapping up my game when that game started.
Mm-hmm.
Watched the first half. And as naturally it usually goes, you watch the first half, and then halftime comes around, and you start making your way out of the facilities. I did, and I got a text where one of our group chats, "Hey Mo, your Rob Campana was saying on the chat, Mo, your 10 p.m. game is canceled." And I said, Mo's, in my head, I said Mo's in a Division 1 game. He's not gonna have time to look at his phone. So I'm like, let me just go back into Lachine and go tell him. And as I'm telling Mo and then crossing and making my way back out of Lachine, I'm watching again the Vultures Bandits game, and I couldn't leave. I'm like, I look at my watch, 15 minutes left. I'm like, yeah, let me stay and watch this, because it was a barn burner. It was score for score, tit for tat. It was blink and you miss an amazing play. Tremont Solomon, I kind of coached him up on on the sidelines in the first half. He dropped, I believe, a touchdown pass he dropped the ball on like 4th and 2 to get a first down. And I'm like, dude, don't let it. You're gonna be needed in this game. You're gonna make a huge play. And literally the next drive, Ben throws him a 25-yard seam on the sideline. He goes up, posterizes a guy. The defender shoves him out of bounds, like really shoves him hard out of bounds. Penalty and the touchdown. So and helped the team. They went for they because of the penalty, they were able to go for 2 points from the 5-yard line, get that extra point, and that ended up being the game. Yeah. So it was an amazing, really great game to watch.
So you're a salmon guy, not salmon guy, huh?
Yes, I said salmon. No, I said salmon. Trayvon Salmon.
No, man, you said Salmon.
Oh crap! I'm gonna.
Yeah.
This is that.
I think
that's
that
that
makes you a
Raiders.
bad person.
I'll take your salmon tartar.
Salmon.
Do you have any
tartar.
smoked salmon?
that goes back to that Raiders Hard Knocks.
I've never seen a single second of Hard Knocks.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I've
Yes,
seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rookie dinner, right?
Yeah, the rookie dinner. Yes. Yeah.
Salmon.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
But on the other side of that, Emil Scaff, he's been kind of like we fall in love with these new quarterbacks when they join the league, right? Where
Yeah.
they can have success right away,
Yeah.
and he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And so seeing him compete in this game,
I feel bad for them. Like they're a good team
mhm.
and they're competing, but I think
and
they're 1-3 now.
yeah,
They started. I think they won their first game, and now they've lost 3 in a row. Oh, they're in a really tough position in 4B because 4B is tough.
well, so their only win came week 1 by a point to Versfall,
Right.
which is by the way, Guillaume Bellan,
Because you played them, yeah.
Div 1 caliber player.
Right.
I'm not joking. Next superstar in FPF, he's amazing. But Versfall they're that team where if you let them hang around,
Right.
they'll beat you. I
Uh-huh.
promise you that'll happen. But and then Honey Martin, Les Montagnards, Vultures, these are all seasoned teams.
Yeah.
So the one game that they won was a game where it's like, okay, they're similar in that they don't play all the time. They're athletic, but maybe, they're missing that little bit extra. They're kind of similar, right? It's a coin flip game, and they won that one. But, I think that it's a learning season for Bandits.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's the best kind of learning season where you're playing games and you're winning games.
You know what I just realized? We're going to have outdoor games in April.
You just realized?
I mean, I wasn't actually informed. It was implied that it was going to happen,
No,
but
we
now I've
talked about
actually
it.
seen it.
We talked about one of the 90 chats were part of it.
Loyola out. No. But he's referring on the schedule. It's a
Like-
tangible thing
we've talked
now.
about it, but it's actually booked.
It's
We have
tangible
outdoor
now.
games for winter.
Outdoor games for
Winter
winter season.
By
Yep.
the way, winter
Yep.
season has only 4 weeks in winter. We're actually, it's not the spring season.
Yeah.
It's been 15 degrees today. My trench coat was a mistake.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I
I was on a terrace today.
I was outside in this.
I sat on a terrace and I had a beer today.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I can't even change the typo.
Nope.
Carlo.
You can't change the typo.
For the capital
Carlo.
O in outdoors?
Yeah.
In
Oh,
co-ed,
okay.
Power Rangers were pushed by Sriracha Hot Chili Sauce. How does this play into the heavyweight matchup between Power Rangers and Party Mix in week 5?
Yeah, it's very likely going to be, and shout out to Chris Rive, the game of the week, which the poll was supposed to be closed on Friday. You can close it. I think they had 46 votes, I think as of 6 p.m. today. And the next...
Let's talk about that for a second. So if you don't know what the hell we're talking about,
right.
join our Facebook community group for the players. Every week,
production.
Chris Rive, our game of the week filmographer. I was going to come stenographer.
No,
but
filmographer is totally a real word.
Yeah.
You should use it all the time.
I am going to use it.
Okay?
So he posts a poll for the games of which are on the ballot to be filmed for that week. So feel free to join our community, vote on what game's your favorite, depending on what's there, and then reap the rewards or suffer the wrath of the community for that selected game.
Jeez, wrath. That's
Yeah.
a big deal.
So what's the question? How does it play into the matchup of Power Rangers narrowly?
I don't remember, but sure.
Yeah. So I think the matchup, it literally is game of the week. Power
But we were
Rangers.
told it's Power Rangers and everyone else playing for second, right?
Uh-huh.
And now we see them pushed by not even Party Mix, by Sriracha Hot Chili Sauce.
Yeah.
And now they face their true biggest challenge.
Yeah, in
Party Mix.
Party Mix with Francois Delorier.
I
yeah.
am Francois Laurie.
I, for the longest time, did not understand that reference
Most people don't.
until it was explained to me about the interviews and playoff games and then that. Yes.
What it is I
I don't
I
care.
don't care.
Me
I hated doing the press conferences.
You hated
I
them.
hated them. So I turned
Like,
all of them into a circus.
Doing them or interviewing?
I hated doing the interviews for press
Okay,
conferences
okay.
because players in FPF think they have sponsorships to protect and don't say anything for some reason. And so I hated it. I found it boring. So I turned into a disaster every time, including the one time no one from Francois Delorier's team showed up. And I was like, I'll just be him.
I am, and then therefore I am François Delory.
Again, to peel back the curtain, if you make the finals, we used to have this whole like NFL media day type of thing where we'd ask you questions, and a lot of people were just like, "No, our opponents are really good, and we're gonna play really hard, and all our
Garbage.
players are excellent, and it's gonna be a good game, and we can't wait to be there on the day." And those were the interviews. So
It was terrible.
yeah,
So
Jenga
we
became an innovative topic.
But I think to extrapolate that, I think that is a FPF kind of nomenclature. Just let's try it out.
Well, we do something else now. Right? It evolved into some other thing, the content that we produce. And
Right. But what I'm trying to get at is sometimes we try new things.
yeah.
And they don't work. Kind of like when I started with the media in 2020, you tried a Monday article and a Tuesday article and a Wednesday article.
I'm convinced it was the best idea ever.
No, and you know what? It wasn't. Obviously, players wanted articles written about their divisions.
Division, yeah.
And even as a writer,
It was hard to work as a writer.
it was hard because I had to.
But like, listen, I was never doing the writers a favor. I was trying to do something for the community.
to constantly get content.
Yeah, so that
out.
every single day there was an article.
Right.
That might be about your team.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But the writers hated it. My surprise was the players hated
The
it.
players hated it. They wanted their division recap. They wanted a pulse
But like, I'm
of the
not-
division.
Like, so, my ego is not such that it extends to like, hey, that's okay. We disagreed. Go back to the other thing. That's what we
Yeah,
did, right?
yeah,
we
yeah.
went back to divisional content.
Watch this. You know what Power Rangers is going to have to try this time around, and hopefully it succeeds? Playing without Marilou Belin,
Yeah.
who suffers I don't want to say gruesome injury, but definitely hurt. Playing in Division 1 with Flagmol Sac, actually.
Yeah.
By the way, if you look at the box score on that, she had a great game.
Mhm,
She
mhm.
dominated.
She's awesome.
Until like the last 5 plays or something, or where she gets hurt and is
Yeah.
not carted off the field, but definitely wobbled.
Helped off the field for sure.
And then didn't play the other 2 games she had scheduled on that particular day. So that's going to be a little rough for them moving forward. So I guess my
Power
question to
Rangers.
you is,
Yeah.
who fills in the gap for Power Rangers moving forward for them in the next few weeks?
That's
It's tough because
really tough.
um,
Although they have the
she doesn't have a massive cap hit.
uh-huh.
She's kind of intermediate cap hit, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Plus, replacing women players is not always easy. Although now it's easier with the women's division.
Yeah. Yeah, for
and-
recruiting, sure.
Yeah.
Well, just from a roster perspective, they still have Jasmine Farmer.
They have
They
the
still
best.
have Geneviève Godet and
Constance
Constance
Millar.
Millar, who are like
It's-
staples.
Lorian Beauchamp as well.
But that's it. They already have the best, like the top 10 women. So replace one of the top 10. You have half of them on your roster.
But it's a very different
But
game.
it's a
though,
huge
like-
piece.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's huge. And it's not easy to replace. Is my point, because you
Like,
already
it's just,
have.
like it's the team that can suffer the loss the best, which sounds crude because obviously, like a person's injury matters more than an outcome of a football game. But we're here to talk about results and the game, and
Yeah.
it does suck to put us in that position at times, but that's what we're here to do, right? And replacing her is going to be very, very, very difficult, regardless of the fact that they're the team most equipped to do that. But now knowing that does it even the playing field a bit
I
for
absolutely.
party victory.
I do think so. More so than like say 2 weeks ago. If you would told me, I had the chance to score keep Power Rangers. They completely destroyed 2.5 Kittens with that Joey Taylor offense. Didn't work in co-ed the way it normally does.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
we'll
we
talk
will.
about that in a second.
We
Because I
will.
don't get it. 'Cause
yeah.
that offense has to work all the time.
So it's just they click on all cylinders, and they mostly, like you mentioned every week here about co-ed, it's the women for Power Rangers
It
that
has to be.
they
You can't
kill
you can't play with 3 receivers.
They
You
kill
can't play with
you.
2 receivers, right? Like,
Yeah. So yeah, I think Party Mix now has a much better chance to usurp them and be the number 1 seed at the end of the season.
yeah. agreed.
I'd put $5 to $10 on them for sure. Not a gambling man like you.
Yeah, well, you're probably happier that way. 2.5 Kittens made it to the halfway point with a mediocre 2-2-1.
Yeah,
2.5 wins.
2.5 wins for
I
2.5.
just read that.
For 2.5
That's pretty
kittens.
good. That's a good joke.
Thank
That's a
you.
good joke.
Thank you.
Is it surprising at all? If not, can we pretend?
You can try and pretend, but I'm not too surprised. Again, I don't want to repeat the same things I heard you and Mo talk about, but it's the lack of the female involvement. And I saw it. Even before you guys talked about it, I saw it. It's just, it's not that he intentionally does it. It's just he sets up his offense in a way that it's that quick release to his snappers to do like a smash kind of move. So I'm not surprised, no. Just from what I saw on the field.
Joey Taylor, go ahead.
Yeah, so here's an interesting question, right? So we all know exactly that. It's quick reads off the snap, essentially.
Yeah.
Almost what I'm going to describe as pitches to
Almost.
whoever the defense doesn't jump.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if the receivers who line up in the slots or the positions, I should say, that he usually throws to, if those receivers are replaced with the women, does he have the same success running the exact same plays with the, I guess, same people on his roster, but just in a different position? Like, put the men on the other side of the field, put the women on the side that he's comfortable with, and run the same offense. Do they succeed?
When Joey Taylor was most successful in FPF, it was... The way his mind works is absolutely impressive. I will defend him being an FPF Hall of Famer to the end of time because he spawned a whole type of offense that we see all the way down from Division 3 to 6.
Yep.
He taught me a lot about how to read defense, where it's like, if the defense does this, then you do this, then you do this, then like it was very reactionary to what the defense is giving you, and it was very intelligent, very patient. And as time developed, as he got better talent, he tended to force a little bit to the better talent. I think if he strips back and goes back to just the decision-based offense that he created. Now, a lot of players will take Joey's offense and say, okay, well, I'm going to attack a little bit more in the intermediate. I'll attack a bit more downfield. But essentially, it's the same idea. Is if the defense does this, I do this. And it's automatic. You don't even know who you're throwing to, because the way the decisions are made on offense.
Yeah.
But the better the talent is, and we see, for example, Matthew Rupchich, Marco Bertoldi, Gab Wiseman, guys who are, again, we've talked about Division 3-ish type receivers. But if you just make the decisions and make the right decision every time, you're one of the best decision makers in FPF history. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he has the second best completion percentage in FPF history, after Fred Vien.
I wouldn't be shocked if
not,
was
he's
accurate.
second, third. Like he's around there. So, that's what this has become. And this is a game where he actually played well.
Because
he played well and just not up to snuff compared to Francois Laurier.
Tommy Roadhouse.
Sorry, I opened
Tommy Roadhouse. Roadley Trojados.
I opened the wrong game sheet.
For Bishop Sycamore. Yeah. So he's still. I only saw one of their games. I would want to see.
But that's it. So I had the wrong game sheet open. But either way, like they just got by Bishop Sycamore, who's a team who's been struggling all season.
But they're good.
They're good. Dog.
I saw them.
They're the best talent in the division.
So good. I'm like.
It's all university level talent.
And they're like winless, I think. Or it's insane. Like the QB Tommy, he throws a wild, like crazy ball. The girls are good on the team.
We had Tommy on Hot Sauce Sports. He was a guy who had NFL aspirations.
Yeah,
is a guy who has.
I can see why. Like
he's a freak athlete.
Yes, yeah.
Omar Torre, university player. Jessica Bostappen, university player. Athlete.
Did you see? Is it on? Can you scroll down, Eagle? Look at the defensive stats for her. She sacked Joey Taylor
9 times.
9 times. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, if you've seen Joey Taylor play, it kind of makes
you.
Did she just sack him? Did she win Player of the Year?
Just with this
Defensive
one game,
yeah,
she won Defensive Player of the Year in co-ed with this performance. Insane. So they clearly are talented, even at the in the women position. Are you kidding me? To sack Joey Taylor 9 times? that's unheard of.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
As for, I want to talk about a team specific. A team I played on, you've played on now.
Not in co-ed 1, but yes.
but in co-ed.
Yeah, in co-ed general.
I'm just using it as a segue, bro.
We're talking co-ed generally. Yeah, slowly going to co-ed 2.
Yeah.
Dave
DeAndre.
Yes, I know him.
I hope so.
Yeah.
He's a quarterback who, I say this about a lot of the guys that have been the quarterback for
Kiss my end
zone. Thank you. Josh Vasquez, myself.
Yeah.
And
it's usually been Josh.
Dave DeAndre, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When it works, it really works.
Okay.
But the mistakes become problematic, right? And that's the case, I think, for all 3 quarterbacks in the last 3 seasons.
Okay. Yeah.
So what is going on specifically with Dave and this effort in co-ed?
So you want me to trash my QB?
No, I want analysis on you.
So I do think it's taking time to build chemistry and just get the timing of how certain receivers run routes, at what speeds, when they accelerate on a crossing route.
By the way,
it took some time with you.
For people who haven't played co-ed before, it takes a second.
Yes,
because it's not the same game.
Yeah, I think the same, and because you comment this quite often, meaning every week, is that he struggles to hit Abigail Cockerton, one of the premier snappers in co-ed.
Well, so I was talking to Alexis Dubois this week.
Yeah,
but is she still snapping for Kiss my end zone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he was saying Dave had issues connecting with her.
Right,
but I also had similar.
So
issues.
did you at first? Yeah, you just worked out those kinks, and this week, albeit against Lasect, it was the time to experiment and try and.
But that's literally the team where I found that connection, because it takes you a weak opponent in a sense to get that. To try, right?
Right, exactly. And I think this is we ended up playing Lasect this week. That's where it happened, and kind of like you. Maybe the trajectory now goes from a struggling David DeAndre to a more successful and excelling one.
But so I think again, it's just I think it's comes with a lot of guys who are not natural quarterbacks. But I'm impressed by the step he took this week, and I know Lasect is a team who does have an FPF win.
They do. You're wrong.
Clear out. I made a mistake again. You know what? I didn't make a mistake. Mandela effect. Lasect have never won a game.
They have 2 wins, actually.
They've never won a game.
They won
Mandela
twice
effect.
in winter 2020.
That's true.
Listen,
man, the pandemic's been long. We forgot a lot of stuff. We forgot a lot of stuff.
So not only is he connecting with now the women, he's even kind of like you. We've never played together. He hasn't played with me as receiver. He's like, oh, crap. You're kind of good in the red zone. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'm like, yes, I am. That personally, I
that game where you dropped all those balls last season. We talked about
No.
I'm remembering something. I'm probably remembering it wrong with you dropping all the balls.
You're totally misremembering.
We dropped all those balls.
No.
It's probably something like that.
So chemistry, and I feel like sometimes he's just a little hesitant in the huddle, calling plays. So those would be my 2 things. But he's getting there. He's getting the hang of co-ed, and it's an adjustment. It's looking.
It's an adjustment, and I'm glad he had this kind of game where he cemented himself. The turnovers are going to be an issue. And Kiss My End Zone's defense is one that is steady, but if you're turning over the ball, it's putting too much pressure on that defense. I think it's not a defense that will typically
it's not a shutdown defense.
It's not a shutdown defense.
No,
it's a defense that's opportunistic.
Yeah.
Which is great, but you can't. If they're opportunistic, you can't give opportunities to the other team, right? So that's how that game works.
That's a fair assessment.
I was there for the game between 300s and Fit Squad.
Okay.
Rekha Sivasubramaniam.
You are brave. You are brave, my man.
Hold on.
I wrote it phonetically on the script. I'm going to call her Rekha for the rest of the season.
Yeah. She's a wrecking ball. Rekha.
She's awesome.
Yeah. No. In all honesty,
because I know her statistically and allegorically, hearing about the women's division, learning about it more, watching her play, the confidence in her hands she was playing snapper and catching the ball, turning your head, immediately going upfield. I was really impressed. And it's like snappers don't get enough love for what? Why were you telling me to hold on? Just bring up the page when you have it.
You said
Eagle.
hold on.
What?
I heard you say hold on.
No, I didn't.
No, okay. My mistake.
Yeah, you.
He
I
did
heard that
right?
too.
Yeah.
Heard it, yeah. And maybe
Oh
it's
my
the beer.
God.
Maybe it's the
Was I
beer.
talking to myself.
It's the
Yeah,
beer.
I think you were talking. You screamed it out, and I was like, "What am I waiting for?" Anyway, so a lot of snappers don't get and she's great in red zone, but more important than that, I think, is her ability to move the chains on offense. Snappers. Maybe
Typically
as an ex-snapper, maybe
Yeah.
I've been slighted this way. You don't get a lot of credit for the 3rd and 4 catch, that 4th and 2 catch, that 3rd and 5 catch,
Yeah.
that 2nd and 8 catch where you break a tackle and get the first down. She's a chain mover.
Yeah.
And that's so important in an offense. And I like throwing the snappers. Snappers are really important to me. I played the position, and I recognize that. Eagle, you have a great snapper in Steven Alberico, who's that kind of snapper. He's not a second-level receiver, but he's a guy who you throw to and moves the ball.
Yeah. Check down, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rekka is that, but with speed and the ability to turn a field. Like she has a great combination of both things. I was amazed watching her. That said, it was an interesting game because of the style both teams were playing. Deep sideline shots, back and forth.
Okay.
And this was the first game Manuel Cristi-Lozon played for 300s. He made a ridiculous catch in the end zone.
I know the guy. He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second of the Cristi-Lozons to play in FPF, if I'm not mistaken. And he had an impact in that even when he wasn't catching the ball, he was attracting attention. So it kind of allowed for Rekka to get some easy yardage. And on the other hand, I was surprised by Fitzqua's approach, whether it was Gabriel Manceau or Felix Goulet. You don't need to throw downfield constantly.
Yeah, because I'm surprised at the scoreline.
Alexi showed up because we played right after, and Alexi's playing with me in Division 4B. And he was like, "What's happening in this game?" I'm like, "Dude, it's just bomb, 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 bomb." And it's kind of like, so again, we're in March Madness right now, right?
Yeah.
And there are teams that kind of create unpredictable scores by playing incredibly fast pace.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this was. Like you see George Louis, sorry, I can't read the name.
Jean-Louis.
Jean-Louis. I couldn't see the middle name.
Yeah.
He had 27 throws and he was running behind line of scrimmage. That shows you how fast the gameplay was, because 27 throws when you're also running the ball is a lot of plays.
Yeah.
And then again, you look to the other side.
19.
You have 19 throws, and again, some quarterback mobility as well. So like, and 19 pass attempts when you're not scoring shows that, again, the amount of plays run in the game is pretty is pretty fast paced.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty fast
yeah.
paced. So I
And
don't think it worked for Fit Squad at all.
And a lot of incompletions.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Like, there was wide open receivers for Fit Squad.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter who was quarterback. They're just chucking it.
So here's the question for you, because I played Fit Squad, but when we lost to them, Kiss My End Zone did, it wasn't Felix Goulet at quarterback. And I want to bring back, the theme of the week here with quarterback controversies and quarterback, maybe a better option.
They're better off of Felix Goulet.
Even with all these deep shots versus the methodical approach of Véronique Dumais.
I've noticed when I play fast pace, the other teams tend to also play fast pace.
Right.
And that's kind of what I feel. I feel like Felix Goulet got in his own head because he saw the other team scoring and moving the ball, and like, I need to keep up.
Right.
But had he just thrown check down, it would have been a very different game.
So we know that Alex Laroche is a very experienced player in co-ed and women's division. He's known Véronique Dumais for a long time, and he was giving us tips on defense. Hey, don't follow her eyes; she'll look you off. It's just tips here and there. The fact, though, that Véronique Dumais has a wealth of experience of her own outside of FPF, but in other flag leagues, I feel like she might be the better option here.
Well, I meant from the two quarterbacks I saw that night.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes.
I sorry. I was I was going.
No,
I was going further.
It's my bad. I cut you off and I didn't let you finish your question.
Yeah.
And I assumed I knew what you meant.
Well, because we played them. We being Kiss My End Zone. They beat us. She was the QB. She had me second guessing certain, jumping a certain route, following the post or letting it go. She might be the better option. That's my my argument here.
She's the best option
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
She wasn't there.
Okay.
So
Yes. So get that for that given night.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not
I
as
got you.
familiar with Fit Squad, so I didn't know that. I was reacting to the game I saw.
Yeah.
You're right. If Veronica, I didn't realize she was on the team. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
If she's
yeah,
there,
yeah.
she's the best. She's the best option for the team. And that's it. She just wasn't there that night. Eagle, is our guest ready?
Yes, but we can finish the co-ed stuff, and then we can jump onto it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. We'll finish. Yeah. Co-ed, and then we have a caller. Do we want to just slowly introduce?
Let's just finish co-ed.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Iggy, Team Commando. What's wrong?
They're going commando. Way too often.
It's very inappropriate for you to make that comment during co-ed. The guys are going Commando.
Yes, the guys
Yeah.
are going commando.
There we go.
How do I put it? They don't seem organized with the offense. It's a lot of, this guy's open. Oh, now he's not. This girl's open. No, she's not. Let me run around the backfield and scramble and try and make a play. And it ends up in a lot of 4-down punts.
So just
turnover
maybe
on
like
downs.
a playbook that's more considered in that, like, not reactionary. This is my read 1, read 2, read 3.
And in some ways it is, but then it's because there's a lot of experience now. Co-ed 2 teams. It's not their first rodeo. It's their second or third or fourth season now. They've seen some of the concepts, and Team Commando kind of just runs the same offense all game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, a lot of instead of the triple slants, it's triple outs.
Which
And
is a variation of, yeah.
But I picked it up right away. It's like, okay, just stay put right here. You're going to get a ball into your hand.
Split the outs.
Exactly. And they don't adjust well enough. So that's...
I've said before that one of the things a lot of FPF quarterbacks have to learn is that you should have you should divide the game in 3 and have 3 playbooks.
You've said this. Yeah, you've said this before.
And I think that would help them. Is the roster too big?
I don't think so, actually. I usually kind of like the 8 person roster. I don't think that's
9 if your quarterback can't play
can't play defense.
Yeah.
In your case, yes. I don't think that's their problem. It's not the size of the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good? No, you can keep going if you want.
I mean, I can. But I looked at you because I thought we were good to go.
No, you can like I said, you can finish the conversation.
That was. Do you have the script open?
Yes. There's a whole section there about yin and yang
And
2
making-
touchdowns.
Oh, I
being
skipped that.
decided.
Yeah, we.
All right. 2 of Yin and Yang's last 3 games have been decided by 1 touchdown. I often say this, and we'll touch on this probably later in the show as well, is that winning close games is not a skill. It's luck. That bounces can go either way. A call can go against you. Is this worrisome for Yin and Yang?
So, unless... Oh, I'm in fall cup. Crap. Because I'm like Gino DeFazio, Quasi Gordon Mall throwing. Yeah.
This seems different.
Stalling for time here. What's the question again?
Given that 2 of the 3 games
Yeah.
have been won by a single score, is it worrisome that they're keeping games so close? Because my belief is that winning close games is not an ability; it's luck. Because they can easily go against you.
No, I don't think that's true. I think it's I think
well,
it's
you're
a
wrong.
skill to win close games.
Well, you're wrong. So,
No,
given that you're wrong,
No, to control, to be able. No. And I'm serious.
look, I think it's different. So, okay, let's put it this way: is it that Yin and Yang are controlling the game, and hold off other teams? Where, like, for example, like if you're up 2 scores and the other team scores and then you just drain the clock.
Yeah.
That's different than holding on for dear life and the other team just doesn't score on the last drive, right? Like those are two very different scenarios.
Yes and no, but sure. I'm.
Well, one you had a 2-score lead, and the other team couldn't come back, and it looks like a 1-score lead, and the other one is.
Yes. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like in that way, they're very different.
Yeah.
So are we worried, or is Yin and Yang just controlling the game? Is kind of my question.
I think they're controlling the game. I mean, they're doing it against teams. I like Team Commando. They're in their games. They're all 1-score games.
That is true.
The two that they played against Kiss My End Zone, 1-score or 2-score games. This Yin and Yang matchup, it was a 1-score game.
But so the games against Team Commando, right?
Yeah.
Did you feel that it was close?
I did feel that it was close, but a team like Yin and Yang, it should have been a 2 or 3-score game.
That's my point.
I see your point now, but now I'm looking at the roster. Nope, it's not up there.
It could easily be on your screen.
But that's fine. It is on my screen. But I'm seeing that Robert White, quarterback for them, which is not usually who it is. It's usually Matthew Peacock, at least for the.
But
the
I mean,
past.
Matthew Peacock's
He's a good
not an
athlete.
actual quarterback either, right?
Good athlete, but not an actual quarterback.
Similar to Robert White.
Sure. Yeah. So, for the quarterback reason, I'll say that they're not able to control a game more than if, say, Gino DeFazio was at quarterback.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to get Lemis Aljoundi, if I can never pronounce that right. Oh, no. Why is Chrome not letting me call?
These are producing issues.
Yeah.
Something I'm very aware of right now.
Try restarting
My
Chrome
beers have been
or
produced all night,
restarting
though.
your computer. Why is this being weird?
So we're calling Lemise in
the meantime,
in anticipation of talking about the women's division. She's going to give us some of her comments.
So,
yes.
first of all,
yes,
everyone clear out. I'm sorry, women's division. I made so many mistakes. Francis
right.
Laurier sent me so much information. I misread one thing and panicked, and I got so many things wrong. I'm super thankful to everyone who reached out.
Did you like skip a line?
I skipped the line, but then
and then one mistake became another.
Well, that's because I just panicked and ignored the document and just like tried to remember.
Oh, crap.
It was so bad. I'm so sorry. I made so many mistakes. I'm gonna work my best to try and learn the division to make less of these mistakes. I want to thank everyone who reached out because there was lots of you who reached out. I'm not upset at all.
You want to learn.
Covering the entire league is so much work. It's really hard, and we totally appreciate you guys reaching out. The more information you give us, the better armed we are to cover the division. So, thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah,
it's appreciated, and look forward to getting more info from you guys.
And a lot of the teams that come out on Sundays from 3 to 6 to play in Lachine in the women's division. This week you'll have your photographs taken, as we said earlier in the segment with Eagle. You will get your team photographs, your individual team individual and team pictures this week.
We I want to have a segment. I'm working on getting the stinger recorded. Like a stinger is like an audio drop. And
go ahead.
My singer friend in Hawaii is trying to get it ready, where she sings. It's for the women's division specifically.
Okay.
Mansplaining with Mo and Bees. Here they go again. So I'm working on
a little intro segment.
Yeah, for where Mo and I continuously butcher the women, and every mistake we make.
Yeah.
That's the drop that'll play. Mansplaining with Mo and Bees.
So Eagle's got to be
he's gonna
acutely
be
aware of any mistake that you make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So working on that.
I see what you're doing there. So what you're doing there is now you're shifting the blame onto Eagle for any mistake that you make. People are now going to be like, hey, the music wasn't played. You made a mistake. So Eagle, where was the music?
Exactly. How would we know we made a mistake?
You're really smart.
My guy, I didn't get to run the media by luck. It was by conniving and by throwing people under the bus.
Yeah.
Eagle, what's going on, man?
So, for some reason, the Firefox and Chrome plugins that usually do calls aren't working, so I'm switching over to a backup system, and now we're just waiting for Lemise to join
Skype
instead. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It literally says can't access your computer and everything.
Well,
so
that's fine.
It is what it is.
That's fine. How about this? In the 2 to 3 minutes leeway that we have here, let's talk about Lemise's team. She played.
Shouldn't be very long here.
Sure. So her alumni team is Red Nation, but her CJEP team, VC Cubs, played Strangers this week in Tier 2 of the women's division.
Could you have set that up in a more confusing manner?
I could have, but yes. Essentially, the Vanier Cubs played the Strangers, which are pretty much the equivalent of the free agent squad for the women's divisions. Hence, Strangers. They don't know each other. They finally played a more competitive matchup against each other.
We talked about it last week. That you just got a really bad draw to start.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you know what? It was actually a pretty good game. I think it was a 2 or 3 point game. So much more competitive for both sides. The VC Cubs were actually, I believe, up 2 scores. I was scorekeeping this game. Up 2. Maybe 9 points, kind of a lead, and gave up the lead to Strangers. Strangers coming back on the play of their quarterback, and I believe number 25, I believe is her name, her number. Sorry,
on Strangers.
On Strangers, yes, she came late to the field, and she's one of their better receivers, very reliable.
Mary Pierre-Dalpé?
Yes, exactly.
If you said no, I wouldn't know what to do.
No, yeah, it is Marie-Pierre Dalpé. Very reliable receiver, great hands. She has actually very good speed for her size. So she was the spirited the comeback over the VC Cubs for them. Yeah, exactly. It was a 3 point game. They ended up winning 24-21. Really off of her hands for touchdowns, both touchdowns and very key first downs against the VC Cubs.
Yeah. VC Cubs was a team we talked about where we thought they might struggle. That they're sort of a developing roster.
Mm-hmm.
The talent is absolutely there.
They really do. I'm telling you, I've seen them 3 or 4 times now. Nikki Liminatis. Yeah. That's the alcohol talking now. It's kicking in. Nikki, Amanda Townsend Aslin, Casey Anderson Ingerman, Emma Townsend Aslin, even Emma Olsen. They're if they can just grab the ball, they can take it upfield. They can spin. They can make defenders miss their flags.
And being a 5-on-5 game, it's more wide open, right? So you
it is. But the field is smaller.
Oh, too. It is for sure. But just the optics, because you can create ISO opportunities. Every play has an ISO opportunity.
Correct.
You have the ability
for one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, and if you win, if you just break one tackle, you can go upfield, and I think that's what the VC Cubs excel at. And honestly, if Lori Willette can limit mistakes, can just get the ball to their teammates in a position where they can make the plays for her, I think they'll be.
Which is when she does that, which is often, she's successful. Yeah. When she's throwing her deep ball, it's not a great deep ball. It's a bit of a wobbler. It's a bit of a duck. Amanda Townsend Aslin and Emma, the 2 sisters, very tall receivers. So they sometimes will moss over the other girls, and they have the athletic ability to do so. So they bail out Lori Willette on her deep ball. So that's what usually ends up happening for them. Why are you smiling at me?
That concludes the breakdown for this game. Okay. Eagle.
I can't tell you what's going on.
Okay, that's why I was smiling, because I knew we didn't have the call. Do you want to go into another division, and then because I don't want to cover too much of women's if Lamisa's going to join us later anyway. So we'll sure. buy her time by jumping into Division 6.
Yep.
And worst case, she'll interrupt us, and we'll get back to Division 6 later. Mm-hmm. And it makes the Division 6 people watch longer.
Yep.
Time spent listening. The race for QB of the year: Alec Richard Nantel of the Stormers, Frankie Scalzo of Beer Knights. Cheers to Beer Knights.
Cheers.
And Mikael Arsenault of Tropic Thunder. It's a 3-way race. Is anyone even close?
I think you just went on Division 6 player stats quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And you saw the top 3 guys.
Yeah.
And there's the question is quite apt. No, there's no one closer. It's a 3-way race.
I read the article for Division 6.
You do.
And I wrote something about Tropic Thunder saying with Michael Arsenault, I wasn't sure if Tyler Grondin was coming back, but I was like, yeah. I'm like, with Michael Arsenault, they look really good.
Yep.
And then I got called up by Tyler Grondin saying bro, I wasn't even there. I was like, I'm saying this guy's better than you. I was trying to be nice. Mike Arsenal's really good.
Yeah.
Like, really, really good.
But he's also their number one receiver. He's a really
Yeah.
tall. So like
Just a really good athlete.
It's
In
a
Division
catch 22
6.
there. Yeah. Okay, we are.
And we'll get back to that conversation in a second as the drunken calling the audible continues.
All right, so I think we should be good here.
Speak into the microphone. That's how
I
microphones
think we
work.
should be good here. We
Jesus.
have Lamise joining us right now, so we should be able to get her on in just a second.
Could have got her on and standby while we finish the conversation.
Hey,
there's
there
Lamise.
we go.
Hey, Lamise.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad.
I think you're on. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we hear you.
There we go.
How's everything?
Not bad. Not bad.
Thanks for joining
Okay.
us after your class. That's brave.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. We were just talking women's division, and we're happy to have you on because, to be entirely honest, Mo and I have done a terrible job covering the women's division. We made a million mistakes. It's new to us, and we're still trying to figure it out. So the more we get
Help.
from the players, the more
Yeah.
help we get, the better we'll be. So we're happy to have our teammate here with us.
Awesome. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. It's an interesting league. You guys should put a little bit more time into it. You'll see. It's
I honestly, I was blown away. I saw some games in week 2, and I was impressed by both the pace of play and we're just like with Iggy that being a 5. I understand that while the field is smaller because it's 5-on-5, it automatically creates sort of these ISO opportunities and flood opportunities that make the game speed incredibly quick. And we're seeing these women put up incredible stats at the quarterback position and receiving positions. You've you're an FPF referee, you're a player in the women's division. You also feel as though the pace of the women's game is really sort of the word I had for it was breathtaking.
Yeah. No. It's one a little a faster pace, and it's a lot more difficult for QBs. Like you'd be surprised. You have to be a lot more precise to get it in the short field. Like I see a lot of like it's very rare that you see in the men's division. I ref a lot of men's games that balls get thrown out of bounds, way out of bounds. But it's very common. It's one of the most common things you'll see in a women's game. You'll see at least 2-3 a game.
Yeah, that's true.
So you got to be more precise, but it is a faster pace. I find it's quicker plays because it's not like you don't have much space to go. But yeah.
Lamise, I had a question for you. I wanted your opinion and your point of view on how your perspective of being a referee is different than when you're on the field playing women's division. I saw you with your Red Nation leading the defensive squad. You didn't end up winning the game, I don't believe. But I just wanted your point of view, your perspective on the difference between reffing a game and being on the field, a defensive leader that you are.
I mean, I understand a lot now. I guess.
There's a lot of hidden messages in there. Yeah, okay, keep going.
I mean, I get it. I'm a chill ref. I'm cool.
Yep.
I'll take it because I understand heat of the moment. I've played sports before FPF, so I understand that heat of the moment, things come out of you, you're fired up, so it's fine. Like as a ref, I understand it, so I kind of like chill. I'm like, okay, it's not personal, it's in the heat of the moment,
Right.
It's okay. But then I do have limits as a referee. I'm like, okay, but there's things that are like, just stop. You can't go there. You can't keep questioning the same thing over and over again. Like it just ticks the referee off. But then on the other hand, when I started to play, I just noticed myself kind of having the same thought. I'm just like, oh, but like, it's right there. Call that, call this, call that. But I can't, like, I don't, because I know like the other side of the receiving end of that. So I don't say anything, obviously, but you know, to my respectful referee.
One of my techniques with referees recently, because I used to be
You've evolved.
very hot-headed, as some of the older referees might tell you, Lamise, I often ask now, what did you see?
Yeah.
And if a referee explains, I saw this, this, and this, and it's very different from what I saw, like, Okay, well, I
That's
can't
it.
expect you to call something you didn't see.
Yes.
I
You
saw
can't
something
go
different.
further than that.
And
The
I'll just
argument-
maybe suggest like, hey, can you look for this because I
Exactly.
saw this happen, and that's
Exactly.
most referees will receive that well. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
That said, how do you feel about Mike Pierre Saint trying to get away with sort of rule differences from FPF to FPF women's? There's some rule differences, of course. There was a bad snap over the head of the Flamand Rose QB, and he was saying that there's no such thing as safety in women's because of the ball being
Bad
dead.
snap.
On a bad snap, which is not entirely accurate. He said that a pick one on a convert was actually 2 points instead of 1. So
He was trying. I felt as a scorekeeper there on Sunday. He was trying to get away with some shady stuff there. Maybe you want to just shed some light and some clarity on
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna throw Mike, who I like a lot as an FPF player. We're gonna throw him under the bus.
Yeah, yeah.
Because why not?
Well, a convert. Like a convert, you mean an interception and a return of a convert?
Yeah,
For
he returned
1 point
a 1 point
Right.
convert returned for a score. He was claiming in
Arguing,
women's
yeah.
is 2.
is 2
No, I
points.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No.
nonsense.
Yeah.
just no. That is a definite no. If it's a 1
You
point
can't
convert,
lose
gets
more than
returned
you
for
gambled,
1,
right?
2 point convert. I mean, I think he probably saw you guys gamble the safety, so he was like, "All right, let me try my luck." No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, the convert, it's 2 gets returned for 2, 1 gets returned for 1. The safety, though, was an argument that we did have actually before one of my games as well.
Okay.
So the thing is, the bad snap in front of the quarterback
Yep.
is going to be reset to the line of scrimmage
With a loss of down, sure.
with a loss of down. So it's kind of like the FPF junior
Yep.
rule, I guess you could say. But the over the head thing is there. Then in that case, also has to be every case bad snap should be go back to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
So if
But
we're
if it
going back
goes-
to the line of scrimmage, it
Yeah.
cannot be a safety.
And this
If
is
we're
where
not
the rules.
though, if it's over the head, see that's the argument we also had. So it's little. I get it. I had the same conversation with Leo, Tara, and
Yeah.
and so if it's over the head though, does it get spotted? If we're choosing to spot it where it falls, then it is a safety. But if we're choosing that it's a reset, then it's a reset. And I believe, from what I understood, that a bad snap is a loss of down and reset to the line of scrimmage.
Got it. All right. One more thing for you here, Lemise. Maybe Pease has another thing after.
I do.
Yeah. Lemise, what for viewers who don't get to be on the field, who don't get to see women's division, what's maybe 1 or 2 things that you want to highlight that's really worth watching? Because I've seen a lot of games now, scorekeeping, and I'm super impressed.
Yeah.
I have my own set of things that I can comment on, but I want to hear it from your perspective. What are some of the things players are missing out by not watching women's division?
I mean, I can tell you for sure, just logically speaking, I haven't even seen all the teams play, but thinking of the tier 1 teams, these are teams that are university level teams that have been playing together for at least a season now and practice more than once a week. They are at a more sophisticated skill level than the people in the men's division 1. And it's more like elegant to watch, I guess you can say. It's more technical, it's more hip movements, it's more the routes are well designed, it's like more thought out than some just good athletes trying to play football,
Right.
which is what I think the men's division is. So here you just have to consider the time and effort put into it. It's going to pay off, it's going to put on a show, and it's actually really interesting.
Yeah, I share
Yeah.
that sentiment with you. Yeah.
Lemise, the Rock are 1-3. They've only scored 63 points. What can they consider to be a successful effort in this season?
The Rockin' 1-3.
Yeah, so they're I
63
think where
points.
Pease is going is that they're
Yeah.
playing against those top tier university level
Yeah,
talent,
yeah,
whereas they're not a university team.
right, right.
So what would be considered a successful season for them? Is it beating one of the teams, even despite having a losing record? What do you think would be a successful?
I mean,
season for them?
aiming for as in a situation like this, aiming for as many wins is obviously like the goal. But I would say gotten to that point, I would have my goal be getting scored on the least, work on the defense, little goals in every game. So if you've scored on an average of 1 touchdown a game, well, try and achieve 2 touchdowns a game. Don't really look at what you're getting, try and look at what you're giving instead. might make the season more motivational and feel like a success.
Absolutely.
Cool.
That's good advice. Thank you, Lamise, for joining us.
Yeah,
We
thank
really
you very
appreciate
much.
your time. I know it's late. I know it's been a long day.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you guys though one more little comment. I
Go
want
for
to
it.
know your opinion on it.
Give me-
So I was thinking, but I haven't spoken to Rob about this yet. So you guys, I need some help
Sneak
if
preview.
we go
This
to
is
him
the
as one.
unofficial channel, so
Yeah.
you can share with us and the other 500 people
Also,
that watch the show.
If this costs money, know that I love
Yes.
spending Rob's money.
We're all
Yes.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Yes.
So yes, helicopters. 100%.
So no, not yet. Hang on.
Flying from one field to the other? Yes.
No, but okay, so it's a little thing about the women's division. Like I feel like I don't know about you guys, what you guys think. I think you might agree with me here. What makes FPF special is the amount of, especially in the men's division, the amount of effort they put into making that huge rule book. Like I learn it and get paid for it, so I know it's huge and detailed and it's thought out, and there's a committee for it, and there's things that make FPFs different from other leagues, which make it more fun. So like kind of a let them play kind of vibe in the rules. So I was thinking maybe we should secretly go to Rob and change around the little women's division rules and make it more fun.
So
do a
I'm actually going to
6-1-6.
comment on this a little bit. Part of the influence of the women's specific
know.
rulebook is because of the international rules, right? So because like 5-on-5, smaller field, even the flag belts now have been switched. I mean, granted, that's across all of FPF.
Yeah.
It was designed specifically to accommodate international rules and competition. So that's where that's inspired from.
I know.
Now, to your point, it does make a lot of sense to do our own spin on that, but I think the other argument is if we are quite literally training Team Canada because we have the best players in Montreal, we should probably be doing it towards international rules to make sure they are the most competitive on the international scene. So, yes, but maybe not.
And I've said this to all of the women who reached out to correct my thousands of mistakes from last week. And I said this, I believe, on the podcast last week, is that the women's division to me is an absolute grassroots effort. You guys did the work we didn't do. We talked about women's and we wanted to promote it and didn't know how to even get in the door. And the women's division is something that the women themselves grew as a way to prepare for international competitions. And to me,
It's bigger than just what we see right now.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, is like we're just getting a peek. And so
Yeah.
I can't wait
Yeah.
to see what it becomes. My worry of changing the rules is
I know.
is that I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose these teams because they did the work for us. That we owe them indefinitely. And I think maybe we can have several divisions where there's like literally a division called Women's International and then like Women's Tier 1, 2, 3, whatever it is.
Maybe.
And we have the International Rules League and we have an FPF Rules League. I think we don't need to have a singular rules book. We can have
But you
2-3
see,
rules books.
but you see how in the matter of this is the second season we've had a women's division at FPF, and how many teams has it more than doubled the amount of teams.
Yeah.
I don't think even when the registrations were happening, we expected this many teams to register.
I can tell you we didn't.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the inside, I can tell
you
you we didn't.
because I know my schedule changed as a player a million times, so I know it was getting organized in the first couple of weeks and reorganized and reshuffled. And so you're gonna see it. The more we push it, next year you're gonna have more, and next year you're gonna have, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after. There's so many women looking to play in an organized league where there's leadership, where there's somebody supporting you, where it's just fun, but at the same time, good competition. And like you said, all these rules make it like to our advantage and to where we can show all our skills, what we've been doing.
I've been trying to get this message out. Like, don't take our mistakes and our ignorance as us not putting priority. It's just new, and the league is giant
time,
and it's hard to cover. But believe me, we totally appreciate it and we're excited for it.
Yeah, and we love the conversation. You know, just having a conversation like this is how things grow. So I
Let's do more.
Yeah,
And also-
exactly.
And definitely thank you, Lamise, for joining us,
Yeah,
because
thank you.
Having a bunch of dudes talk about women's sports
Yeah,
is
just call me up. Just
very
call me up.
1990s,
It's all good.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's cool to have you guys. And I've reached out to players. We're going to be having more players on. And of course, I want to start with Lamise because we have the benefit of having someone who's involved in the community, a player,
Internal,
a referee, sort of involved with FPF and FPF Women's as well. It's merging in both worlds. My favorite referee. I can say that with full confidence because I like referees.
Am I reffing you soon? Is that why?
Sorry?
Am I reffing you soon? Is that why?
Next
you
week.
ref me a lot.
Next week.
No, honestly, I like referees that are communicative.
Yes.
If you make a mistake or if you it's fine. You see things differently from what I see. We have different angles, but if you're just if you're just not a jerk as players, and
we appreciate
probably
it,
because you're a player, you recognize that, and it's appreciated. It
Yeah.
just you're communicating to me what the issue is, what you're seeing, what the call is, and that's more appreciated than you can imagine. So
clarity.
So I say that in full honesty. One of my favorite players in FPF, one of my favorite referees in FPF. Let me thank you for joining us.
No problem. Anytime, guys.
Have a great day.
All right.
Thanks. You
Great
too.
evening.
Bye.
This is super.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Yeah. Have a good night.
All right. Iggy's gonna disappear for a bit. So, Peace, I want to do something.
I also have to piss, but you go first.
Well, we're gonna take shifts on this, okay? So we're gonna
just
tackle.
taking a break. It was such a natural spot for a break too.
We're going to do something here. So you're writing the Division article for Division 6.
Yeah.
A new segment you've introduced, and we've done this without graphics in the past, has been Pisa's Playbook, where you've gone through and described different plays.
Because don't look at my outcomes as a representative sample of me understanding the game. I promise you, I'm a very good play designer. People in this league know that I don't execute them properly is the problem, but I definitely can design them, and so I'm here to help with new quarterbacks. I love having conversations about play design. Eagle and I have done that for years, but also I've had conversations with guys in the league like Frankie Tioli Colatrella and I have talked. Marc-Andre Desaulniers, who used to cover the league, and I have talked. We love discussing play designs and reading plays and so on. But yeah, Eagle, your question.
I want to have this conversation with you, and we're going to have a different conversation when Iggy gets back. So this latest edition of Pisa's Playbook is talking about defenses, specifically the cover 2 defense, which is a zone defense with 2 safeties,
2 deep safeties, yeah.
and 3 what is referred to as flats. So basically defenders in the short zone, usually somewhere in the 0 to 10 yard range, essentially. This is what you would describe as standard coverage in FPF.
It's base for a lot of teams.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of teams shift in lower divisions to 4-1 as a base, but
let's skip that.
Cover
For
2 is
this is like the easiest one to understand. Let's call it, because if you've watched the NFL, you've seen Tampa 2, you understand the principles.
It's fairly
behind this one.
intuitive.
So you have different variations of how to run this particular defense.
So the way play callers typically call plays in FPF is you name the defenders 1 to 5. So let's say, for example, we're going left to right, 1 to 5. The first defender you see on your left is 1, and the last defender you see is 5. So the first example you see on the screen here is 24.
So this would be, again, if we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to right, number 2 and number 4 drop back. And then in this one over here, this is a 1-5, which I would argue is a very dangerous cover 2.
It's risky.
It's very
It's
risky.
high risk, high reward.
Because if you're a quarterback, do you see where the big opening in the field actually is?
If you have a fly post called to one side, the post is an easy touchdown.
And then variations of this, which is the either 35, 13, I do 14 and 25 myself, different combinations of it. So the question I have for you is, this works under the assumption that all 5 people are comfortable playing both flat and deep defenders. So Div 6, that may not be the case. So my question to you is, as a team who's learning how to play zone defense, how would you, I guess, have a default look, which is your best defense in a cover 2 style?
So let's assume you have 4 guys who can either play who can play deep and can play in the flats well, or 4 guys where 2 of the guys can at least play deep sometimes. The one who's in the flats, put him in the corner spot and never have him drop deep. It's not ideal, but at least you know what you're getting, and pair him with your best defender. 4 players in the flats. I see this mistake in low division teams. I've seen this as a mistake in my own teams. Everyone should line up flat at 5 yards, 7 yards, whatever your default is. Flat defenders, your first step is forward.
Not backwards.
Never backward. Never start back, because If a quarterback sees it, it's going to be all hooks in your face all day.
Slants underneath. Yeah.
Slants underneath, out in your face, and there's nothing you can do because you're in a back pedal and
you're being boxed out.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You don't. It's an offensive league. The rules are built for the offense in the first place, so you don't have an opportunity. Your first step has to be forward, and I would recommend if you have 2 routes, try and split them. Try and take one away. That's your goal. If you've handed off all your routes and there's nothing in your sector, that means there's someone behind you. That's when you start retreating. But that's like your third step that you process. The deep receivers, nothing over top. Nothing over top. Force the quarterback to be disciplined with intermediate throws. That's the hole. Every zone defense has a hole. That's what's going to be. And if you use different variations to cover 2, it'll take the quarterback longer to read the intermediate. And then that's when the quarterback will make mistakes. That's why you use different variations to cover 2.
Thank you. You are excused. I will now shift my attention to Iggy. So we're going to talk about this cover 2 defense in a more educational fashion, but from the offensive side. So you are a quarterback, as you literally are. You've also played
Wait a
defense.
second. So you got my input for how to handle this on defense.
Yep.
Not on offense.
Well, because it's your
just clarify.
so it's
for
your
a different-
article. You're running it.
Just for a-
I get to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah, just
so,
for a difference of opinion.
So Iggy, you're a quarterback.
Yeah.
You see the other team playing some variation of cover 2. So what does this tell you in your huddle? What play calls are you making that give you the optimal routes and combinations against this defense? Are you, like in this case, are you going to be exploiting a particular zone, or are you looking for holes in the defensive coverage itself? Like, I guess talk through the different strategies.
Yeah, so I think if I'm a quarterback here, seeing cover 2 and, my receivers come back to the huddle, hey, they're playing cover 2 for the most part. Well, what I'll do with my wide right receiver, and you'll see this more and more, as you go into FPF, the post wheel route. So my okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw. That's why.
Yeah. So my receiver most to the right is doing a post route. If the guy who dropping deep follows him, which probably is, my slot right is now doing an out and up. So that should open that up on a cover 2. However, my first read is still the post. So if he doesn't follow him, well, I'm hitting the post all day. And if he does follow him, exactly, that's where my eyes are looking, where Eagle just drew his circle, is where my first read is. And if he is following him, I'm still gonna throw the wheel, even if the flat defender picks it up. He's probably at a disadvantage picking it up. He's probably a yard or 2 away. So I'm still throwing it exactly into that rectangle area where Eagle just drew. And depending on the speed of my receiver, if I know he can burn him all the way, I'll throw it as hard as I can. If I know that there's maybe if it's cover 3, I know I'm moving away from cover 2, but if it's cover 3, I'm not going for the home run, and I'm just going for a nice chunk of yards, throwing 10 or 12 yards down the field.
The correct answer is if it's post and wheel.
Yeah.
And they're cover 2 and the defender bails, you should have the snapper underneath, and you check down to the snapper because he should be wide open.
Yeah, but I like going.
Just say it.
I like hitting
it's the right
home run.
read. You can do what you want. I'm just telling you what the right decision is.
So okay. So we're now getting Pease's input. And who knew, by the way, that drinking exorbitant amounts of coffee and beer would make you want to go to the bathroom?
I've had no water today.
But why? So why the snapper? What route is the snapper doing there?
So
10-yard hook.
For
or
me,
what?
post wheel is, let's say from strong side to weak side, is post wheel, quick out from the snapper, corner from the opposite slot, 7 in from the opposing. So 7 in is if it's 3 deep. If it's 4-1, you have either the wheel or the corner, because depending on what the safety chooses. If it's cover 2, you're basically creating a 2-on-1 for the flat defender. If the flat defender covers the
snapper coming to them,
covers the snapper, the wheel's wide open. They usually do.
Yes.
The wheel's wide open.
Exactly.
I always tell my defenses, if it's post wheel, the flat defender has no choice but to bail.
You have to pick up the wheel, yes.
And you live with the 7-yard gain from the snapper.
Yeah.
But if the 7-yard gain is there, you always take the 7-yard
But
gain.
seeing as this is mostly now our Division 6 listeners, The wheels.
What
not-
I
the
just
wheels
described
not-
is not
yes.
an easy read. Though.
Yes, yes. Agreed.
But
So-
that's the goal. That's
yes,
what you
yeah.
should be aiming towards. And if you want to know more about Post and Wheel, read my Division 6 article this
There you
week where I described the Post and Wheel.
there you go. Uh-oh.
No, it's fine. I just got to figure out something here. Keep going.
Okay.
So, which new teams have been most impressive?
So, okay. Just like that. Just
Well, because you mentioned a game I've never played. It is flag football team, and you have Among Us. I've never played Among Us, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
so
I know I like gambling, so I'm supposed to like Among Us.
So
I get it. I just never played it.
So if ever once Eagle gets the screen back up and he searches for flag football team on Division 6, he'll see that the team is wearing these T-shirts with the Among Us game characters.
I would never have known.
Well, I don't know why they didn't just call themselves Among Us or Among Them or Among I don't know anything else
Is it
but
on
flag
purpose that
football team.
Does Among Us actually have the Grand Theft Auto font? Like on purpose?
Kind of. It's not on purpose, but
Pretty close.
it's pretty close. It has like the pictures like a square
Yeah.
blocked up into 9. Like
It's
a,
very
like a grid.
GTA-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice call out. So they're I believe
Them.
3-1. Yes, they're 3-1. And
Yeah, it infuriated me because I hate their shitty name.
right. And I saw them on the Instagram post talking a little some smack on in the Bay Durfee. So I don't know if they're out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Out in Ontario, Alberta. So them at 3-1, and the Betway Bandits, I believe, are also 3-1. Those are the two teams that have caught my eye as no FPF previous experience doing well.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed by flag football team. I don't know about their experience outside of FPF because we just had an interview with Lamisa Aljoundi, and she talked about how teams are coming in with FPF knowledge. And this is not something, when I started in FPF some 10 years ago, 11 years ago, that didn't exist. Like,
There was no
there was no
else.
flag football outside of FPF.
Yeah. 4-0, by
Literally.
the way.
Like, there was no other leagues in the city.
yeah.
There was CMSS, which was not
Ugh,
really good.
I've played.
How can we put this positively? It was not good.
Yeah.
That's as positive as it can be.
Yeah.
There's now much more competitive leagues.
Yeah.
Terrebonne is formed. MFL is formed.
Yeah.
We have a great relationship with them, but also school leagues. have
Yes.
formed. So I
Yeah.
don't know if they've played GMMA.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've played in high school. I don't know if they've played in college. I don't know anything about these teams.
Yeah.
So again, if you have the information, give it to us so we
Yeah.
can cover you better.
Yeah.
But I've been impressed because West Island boys, inexperienced, week 1, whatever. Tutkalni, they've not been successful. Off Island boys, again, not experienced.
Yeah.
But Cavalier de Rouen,
They have
they
a
were
season.
good by the end of last season.
Yeah.
The Eagle, they were your favorite team, right? Last
Yeah. were the go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even last year. You're thinking of the spring season. They had a spring and a fall season.
So I have a.
I know.
Make spring and fall rolled into one.
Yeah, I know.
Until we get a normal FPF calendar,
know,
it's
I
gonna
know.
get real weird for a long time.
Yeah. There will be the confusion of was
Mandela
it spring?
effect.
Was it
Just
spring?
Mandela effect, the whole thing. Yeah. So
from the receiving standpoint, Adam check this.
yeah. The thing we're saying is about flag football team.
Yeah, that we're impressed that they're 4-0, not 3-1. I
Nothing
said-
went wrong with the computer.
No, not at all. This is a completely natural segue into.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe he's Liebeling.
Oh,
Adam Liebeling, 16 yards a catch.
Oof.
He's
God.
been excellent.
Yeah, so he's been their number one receiver. Those are good. Those are good stats for a first year team, first year receiver, at least in FPF. And I like the supporting cast. I like the distribution for 88 yards, 70 yards, 94 yards. Maybe it's not that much when you divide it by 3 or 4 games, but it speaks to the spread of the offense.
The next 3 games, though, they got Glory Boys, who've not been as impressive as I thought they would be, but still
Have
quality.
experience, yeah.
FKU,
Yeah.
solid. And your girlfriend's here for us, who maybe are good.
Are winless, if I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
didn't they win last week with the new quarterback? With We'll talk about the new quarterback later.
No, they lost 38-0 against the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh, sorry, I'm confusing them.
Yeah, they are winless. They are 0-4. So they.
So the next 2 games.
Yeah, the next 2 games. Yes, you were right.
Oh,
so,
sorry, I confused them with Dave Allen's team, which is in Div 5. My mistake.
Yeah, Longhorns. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I think you're right in that they're now finally going to get, at least for our point of view, from the media's perspective,
Just a way to gauge them, right? Because Division 6 is always
exactly.
unpredictable.
Yeah. So if they can come away with victories in both of these games, they're now making a statement in Division 6 that they are for real. They like I said on the Instagram page, they were barking and saying we're putting the league on notice. So you know what? You want to put the league on notice? Go ahead, win your next 2 games, and then you'll get the notice from the media team here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I say so. The reason, by the way, that I cover Division 6 is because I'm head of the media team, and I feel it a hard assignment to give anybody else. So I always choose to cover Division 6.
Yep.
It's the assignment I choose, even though I'm not playing in the division.
Mm-hmm.
I choose that because I know how hard it is to cover. So, again, if you have any information about your team, do let us know because it helps us cover you better. What about Betway Bandits?
Yeah, they're also 3-1. One of those new teams that are having early.
Kind of different though. The games have been tight.
Yeah, I mean, again, first week loss to 7th rounders. Again, another more experienced 2 seasons under their belt type of team.
I'm going to take a moment here and say, sorry for cutting off your feet. Whoever took this picture is fired.
Well, maybe they don't have feet. We don't know for a fact whether or not they have feet.
Oh, my God.
But you know what? On the bonus, look how much dome we have
Yeah.
in the picture.
Yeah. Yeah, that was necessary.
Yeah. Did I take this picture? It feels like I took this picture.
I don't know. This feels like a Mokan picture, maybe.
No, he's not on. He's not at Bader Fair on Wednesdays. He's with me instead.
I've never even been to Bader Fair. I refuse.
Yeah, that's quite the comical picture. But actual content. Sure, a couple. They squeaked out a couple wins against the Maccabee. Well, squeaked. This is not quite the right word. Maybe squeaked a win.
That is the right word.
Against Toon Squad, but Toon Squad's an FPF junior team that's now played in the men's division for 2 or 3 seasons now. So to beat them 18-14 is saying something. It's a small statement, but it's a statement nonetheless.
But I always say it's not sustainable to win games where you score 3 times.
Fair, but then they're beating the free agent squad 33-2. They're beating
who are a new team in FPF with no experience.
Yes, yeah. So look.
So like the games where my point is that the games where they faced experience, they've not been dominant. I'd even say like Maccabees, who are a new team.
Yeah.
18-0. It's fine.
Sure.
But like it's more Maccabees failing than their success.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll give you that. So, look, next up on their schedule, West Island Boys. I think they're going to lose that.
West Island Boys are interesting because there's a lot of athleticism.
Mm-hmm. And now
they're scoring a
experience.
ton.
And now experience, too. They played in Winter 2020 as primetime, which is really confusing when I see another primetime team. And then I start
we need to
mixing
put
up
a
teams.
lifetime ban on Balls Deep. Prime time.
Yeah.
The amount of times just search the team name in search teams
and you'll
see how many times these team names have been used.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So that being said, I think it's kind of a wash for their next game. But fine, show me how you handle the West Island Boys. But Brewers, here's a team with FPF knowledge and experience, but lack the athleticism.
So Division 6, Division 5, we sometimes have teams we call campers.
Okay.
Teams that are camping in division because they just can't get past that level.
Yeah, they can't get over
Brewers
the hump.
are a camper.
Okay.
Until they add another piece, I think Jeff Lefebvre is so close to just I know what happened for me, Iggy, and maybe this happened for you as a quarterback where I understand this a little bit better. And you make a jump.
Yeah.
And then every division you jump into, it's like, oh, this is harder. And then you make another jump. Right? Like, and it's not even your physical abilities because the field's not that big. Your physical abilities, they're nice if you have them. If you don't, you can still be successful. right?
There's also the scenario that Division 6 is also like a wild, wild west where sometimes you get a hard schedule, sometimes you get an easy schedule. So maybe you feel like you've taken a step forward, but in reality, maybe you haven't.
It's hard to
Good
gauge
point.
yourself.
Yeah, good point.
The thing is, I've actually said for a while, I think new teams should start in 5B. And because some teams come in and they wreck the Division 6.
Yeah, we've seen
It's
it.
more likely that a new team wrecks Division 6
No.
than the returning team. Absolutely. Ducks did it.
Because you only have one chance of wrecking a Division 6. If you miss, but you do well enough, you
Okay.
automatically get promoted. Essentially.
Like, if you have one great season, you get pushed up to Div 4, basically.
Yeah, like ballers, B ballers.
B
sorry.
ballers is that
Yes,
example.
yes.
B ballers, Ducks were that,
Okay.
and so on.
Oh, when I was pausing, I thought you were gonna say there's more likely chance for a new team to wreck than to just be average, and I don't think that's the case.
No, the average is fine. My worry, so like the thing is, if you take a beating in Div 5B or you take a beating in Div 6, it doesn't matter. You
Right.
took a beating.
Yeah.
But if you take a beating, and when I moved from Division 6 to Division 5B, I found 5B easier. Because
You want to explain that? Well, like, what?
because I would face these teams where all these kids played CJEP ball or played university ball, like they're much better athletes than anybody I have on my team.
Yeah.
And again, the returning teams you would think would be stronger, but they're never stronger. They're returning because they're weaker. Because we're trying not to keep teams Division 6.
Yes.
So you get more Brewers, you get more. Back in the day, there was NWO, those kind of teams that camp in the division because they just can't get beyond that level.
I just love how Eagle is like hyper aware when he's producing that.
That's your little beer.
I cracked the can and he thought it was a sign for get me another beer.
Oh, because
I've been conditioned.
say you worked with Peace for a long time without saying you worked with Peace for a long time.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's for Betway Bandits. I think they're properly placed in Division 6. They're not one of these dominant teams.
Yeah. I think they'll have a close 18 to 24 battle with Brewers.
Yeah.
And it could go either way.
Maccabees won the last two games. What can we make of their campaign thus far?
They're 2-2, so kind of like what we said about another 2-2 team, average. They're bringing two, I believe, experienced players on their team, Jonathan the Jaeger Bomb Jagerman, and I believe it was Michael Titleman. Yeah, exactly. One of the Titlemans has had a good season with the Wolfpack, I believe it was, from spring 2018, 2019. And so he's on the team as well.
He's familiar for sure.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're being led at the quarterback position by Mitch Melnick's son or grandson. I'm not sure, but we have a Zach Melnick not doing too well. 5 TDs, 6 interceptions. So he seems to be just and you know what? This is normal with a new team when they're a new quarterback. Just getting the hang of an FPF season and just the spacing, the concepts. It takes a second, but I think. You know, they just beat their kind of, well, at least Jaegerman's Toon Squad. It's usually his team he plays with. They came out victorious. Now, they didn't have, Toon Squad didn't have Chaz Prezer. He's in the Swiss Alps. Deal. He's in the Swiss Alps skiing his way.
Lucky him.
Yeah, lucky.
I worked in Switzerland for a little while. It's awesome.
Yeah, but the $24 hamburger, he said not cool. But you know, yeah. But the Swiss Alps.
Bro, you gotta hit up. I'll remember the store name, but rotisserie chicken is your friend in Switzerland. It's the only affordable food in Switzerland.
Okay.
I was there as my first job. I'm telling you, it's what you do.
I have a very different experience in Switzerland because I was on a corporate budget.
Yeah.
So we accidentally went to a Michelin star restaurant.
Accidentally, on accident.
We just Googled best restaurant Vienna, and guess where we ended up?
How many Michelin star restaurants have you been
to? Officially,
because Quebec doesn't have Michelin star.
Exactly, yeah.
Because in the city, I know both of you and I have been to would be 3 or 4, but those don't count.
Yeah. So yeah, probably officially like 1 then, I guess.
I've been to 3.
Cool.
Yeah, I look for them to be fair when I go.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing more than average for Maccabees, and they they're doing well with Michael and Michael Titleman and Jonathan Jaegerman for now, but they need to get the other guys a little more involved.
So looking at their next game, 7th rounders.
No,
is
that's
that
a loss.
100%.
100%.
Schedule loss. It was built to be a loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even the penetrators, that's a loss. They'll be. I don't even want to.
I think they're 5-5 team.
Yeah,
4-6, 5-5, 6-4.
Yeah. I think that they may have a nice battle week 9 with big fat bats.
Yeah.
Who are the Zeppelini or Zeppeltini brothers. The Zeppele brothers, yeah.
I'm going to throw a twist into the script here.
Quick, I want to get these in before I forget. Maccabee. It's not the first time we have Maccabee as a team name. Maccabee is a Jewish warrior of sorts.
I figured some Jewish.
Yeah, and we had a
there.
team called Maccabee before, so it's a return of that team name. But also, the Swiss grocery store I was talking about was Migros. Go to Migros, hit up a rotisserie chicken. But they weirdly don't sell wine because they're a family grocery store, whatever that means, or they didn't a decade ago when I was working in Switzerland. So go to Denner to get some cheap ass liquor. My guy, you get some really good French wines for like $4 to $5 in Switzerland.
Right.
Booze is super cheap in Switzerland.
Yeah, in Europe in general. But yeah, there you go, Chaz Presser.
We got you, buddy. We got you.
So I do want to take a moment to talk about the crisis going on in Europe right now, which is the fact that Team Poland has not won a game, but not only have they not won a game, they've put up 45 points in those 4 games.
It's an important conversation. I'm glad we're having it. First of all, I want to look up I want you to scroll up. Look at how sad the team picture is for Team Poland.
I took the picture.
Everyone's standing. No one's kneeling down.
Yeah, you're supposed to have them kneel 3-3 or 2-4.
My guy.
But I'm like, but there's 6 and like they fit
3-3.
They fit in my wide
It
screen.
looks so bad.
Rob would be very upset. He is very upset.
Okay.
Is he?
Yes, because behind the scenes curtain here, he used to send about a 4-page
Oh my God.
email about how to take pictures.
Yeah,
I still
entirely.
have it.
I remember this.
Yes.
Oh God.
It's the one thing. Rob is very much like a laissez-faire type of guy. It's the one thing he's very strict on.
Yeah.
And this year it's been a disaster, so it's just funny.
Yeah, he's
He really swears by
he's
having the
offended by
pictures.
team pictures.
I found it odd that they stood 6 across, and I should have said something, but I'm like, they fit in my frame.
What are
So
we talking about?
Team Poland.
Team Poland.
Yeah. So an MFL team.
Yeah.
Come.
But not that much MFL.
Not that much MFL.
You and I thought there was more guys, and then when we did research, like, oh, there's like two or
three maybe. The Snaj family.
They're the most famous names from MFL.
From MFL, yeah. And,
on this team.
Yeah, but Thomas Snaj now quarterbacking is not a natural quarterback. He's a natural snapper in our sister league. Really, really struggling. He has some nice play concepts, but it's just execution.
So
And a lot of drop balls. To
Yeah.
be fair to him, his receivers are dropping easy catches.
So MFL has improved in quality.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some migration of FPF teams, FPF players playing in MFL. We've brought concepts there. We're an older league, so the play calling is more sophisticated. I've played in MFL when it was the Louis Cyr League. I'm telling you, it's a big difference now from what it was. That said, the level of competition's higher in FPF.
Yeah.
Division 5, Division 6 is pretty much high level MFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's okay if the Snaj brothers are struggling, especially if Thomas Snaj is trying FPF as a quarterback for his first time.
Yeah.
Take your lessons. It's okay. Stick with it is my point.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
better by not throwing.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy to see him throwing in FPF. I'm super happy to see him trying to develop because, again, it's not as easy as it looks. Iggy, you and I are great examples of how hard this league is.
It's a different game. It's a different game.
And
it's not.
I remember when I started playing versus now.
It's crazy.
I wish I threw 11 years ago.
Right.
Because
Right.
FPF defenses were so static. Guys are shooting gaps now. Like, there were 4-1 teams. There were cover 2 teams. There was man teams.
The whole
teams
game,
that would not change defense the entire game.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
No.
That doesn't exist in FPF,
Yeah.
even in Division 6.
Yeah.
You know, like, even Eagles lockdown changes defense.
Yeah.
That goes to show you.
We used to be a cover 2 team.
They were
That was
they
the
were
thing.
known as an aggressive cover 2 team. And it worked for
Seriously.
them. They were successful at that.
That's crazy.
You-
Yeah.
if you did that now, you would get torched for 60
Yeah,
points.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
That
so
that
this
that
goes to show you.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's
So stick with it. Is your
stick
point.
with it. You'll get
Yep.
better. You'll get better fast.
Yep.
Let's move on. Where are we at?
I think Division 3.
Let's do Division 3.
Yeah.
Mongoose picked up their first win of the season by beating the East Division leading Bearskins and Lachine 33-19.
So I said I wrote mongoose, but I meant mangoose.
You really set me up for failure there.
Man,
Because we have both goose.
I
we have both
know.
geese.
Mon and man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is the mangoose. They picked up their first win.
Happy for them.
Yeah. And against a good Bearskins squad.
So now everyone knows I'm Ron Burgundy. I will read whatever's on the script, no matter what it is.
Yes.
Mangoose has always been puzzling to me because they're one of those teams where when you see them on the field, they should be better, right? Like the athleticism is
Yeah, like
nonsense.
James Drysdale's looking at Nick Schaefer throw balls. He's like,
That's our division.
he's really good.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he's a really good quarterback.
Nick Schaefer had a transition issue from tackle to. There's certain throws you don't make in tackle where you can get away with in flag because guys don't get murdered.
Yep.
And he didn't capitalize on that. So the time to beat Mangoose easily was back in the day.
Early on.
It's changing. He's become a lot better. And look, they're struggling, but they also haven't had an easy ride. So like Les Malheuds are so once you get to Div 3, those camper teams are not easy wins anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like we just talked about in Division 6.
Yep.
Malheuds have been campers in Div 3, and they're hard.
They were really good.
From day one.
Yeah.
I've had battles against them. I'm telling you, it's a tough team. EZW is a rising team. Expendables is really good. Bearskins are a former champion. That's how you start your season, right? So
it's crazy.
after struggling in the fall in Tier 1.
And this is Div 3. Yeah, Div 3's insane.
This is hard too.
It's super interesting to follow and to watch. But my God, your schedule, you're not playing a week. There are no weak teams. There's I mean, that's
lightweight.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Lightweight because their team is 5 players, and whoever,
and I
and
mean,
whoever's grandmother's available.
Yeah, it's a point to talk about later in the script, but yeah.
Well, shit. I just saw that.
Yes. It's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
The point being with Mangoose, they really needed the win. They couldn't afford to lose this game, and to beat Bearskins 33-19. It's fairly impressive, especially because Conference A in the East Division, like you said in the opening act there, the East Division leading Bearskins. So
that said, last 2 weeks, Neil Atkinson, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. After going 9-1 the first 2 weeks.
Right. And playing Le Gros Coq and Mangoose in the past 2.
If I
more
there's no
athletic
easy
teams.
wins in Division 3.
Yeah.
But lightweight, Les Malheuds, Le Gros Coq, Mangoose is probably as easy as it gets for Bearskin. So the fact that they came out of this 2-2,
Yeah.
that's not
Should have been
for
should have been
former
3
champion, not great.
Should have been 3 or 1 or 4 or 0.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could have seen them going 4-0 and then maybe you end up 6-4, and I would have been like, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
Or
Yeah,
7-3.
look at their next 4 games.
Yeah. Oh, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's sorry. I'm loading
Junkyard
it
Dogs, Thor's Hammer, Touch It, Catch It, Blessed.
And Oompa Loompas.
No.
Oh, that's
wrong team.
Mangoose. I'm sorry.
Wrong team.
Yes, wrong team.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a tough
Out.
road ahead
Yeah.
for Bearskins.
Yeah. So
and
yes, they should have. The
They need
analysis
to
there.
capitalize because you're gonna take losses here.
Yes.
Like if you come out of here 1-2, that's good
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
your next 3 games,
Yep.
right? Or if you include Blast, like your next 4 games, if you come out of here 1-3, that's
That's
a
good.
good stretch.
Yeah.
And
I know.
but if they come out of 2-2, that's incredible.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
So
yes.
and to be fair, if they come out of it 2-2, they're probably a playoff team
Yep.
because that sets them up decently.
Especially because again, they're already first in the Eastern Conference there, whatever conference.
Yeah.
So that guarantees them a top 2 clinched spot. So yes, Yeah, it's a good spot for them to get into the playoffs, especially because lightweight's 0-4.
Simon Dagenet and lightweight. Simon Dagenet is in love. There's a great picture of him holding his fiance over his back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it will be my profile picture leading up to the wedding. So you'll all get to see that.
It'd be nice to see it, but yeah.
No, but don't worry. We will see it. We will see it. That's
Right.
maybe spring season. Maybe late in the season. We'll see.
This is the only picture that matters.
Yeah. But is Simon Dagenet confident
Now
with how the team's played?
No, now his confidence is at an all-time low.
So weird start. He had tendonitis the first week. He had COVID the second week. The team, he struggled to put a team together.
Yeah.
I know we like to make fun of Simon, but from a combination of his skill set and his knowledge of the game, at one point I'd said, Simon Dagenet, top 12 quarterback in FPF.
You did say that, I remember.
That's 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore.
No.
That gap closed fast.
Fast. Yeah.
Um,
So maybe my question is, if we look at the standings for Division 3, I think we all kind of know that, unfortunately, Oompa Loompas are kind of miscast in Division 3, so they're not going to be a playoff team.
No.
Lightweight's 0-4.
Yeah.
They're 1 point, or not 1 point, 1 win behind Le Gros Coq to tie them for that last playoff seed in Conference A. So really, right now, it's between Le Gros Coq and Lightweight for missing the playoffs right now.
So their chance at wins was early in the season. Like Junkyard Dogs, not an easy win, but Lightweight, if they were the lightweight they were a couple of years ago, could have competed.
Yeah.
Bearskins, again, because Bearskins don't blow teams out, that's a game you're in, and didn't have the quarterback. And I think basically the entire season comes down to Lightweight has to beat Oompa Loompas and Le Gros Coq.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, it's done.
Weeks 8 and 9. Yeah.
They're not beating anybody else in the schedule.
No. No easy W. No.
No, because
no.
Because here's the thing: is Lightweight has some really good players, right?
Yeah.
Again, I don't think Simon Dagenet is as at the top of his game per se, but he's still solid. Hendrik Ambrose, Justin Blanchard. If Justin Lerner plays, great. Francois Hogue is a versatile player. Eric Lee's really good. Olivier Laberge, but the consistency. Look at how many players have played on this team.
Yeah.
Because
Aren't
they're legitimately 5 players with a rotating
Yeah.
6th person.
Because aren't these players Division 4 players and maxing
They're top
out?
tier Division 4 players.
Yes, and their max potential is Division 3.
Justin Blanchard,
maybe
Justin
a
Lerner.
few can probably go up another one.
Olivier Laberge are probably Division 2-ish players.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say maybe is that I love Justin Blanchard. He's a freak athlete. But is he a wide receiver 1 in Division 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has been. But
and put up wide
so
receiver
he also
1
the thing is
numbers.
Justin Blanchard is also no longer the 24-year-old Justin Blanchard.
yeah, fair enough. Father Time is
When he gets caught from behind, I always scream, "You used to be fast." Right?
Yeah, I think the big problems, and Pease, you kind of alluded to it when we brought up the team here. It's that the quarterback consistency isn't there with the injuries and that whole thing, as well as the time off, right? So getting back into the rhythm, plus the cast that goes along with that quarterback is also a rotating door plus aging, right? So that's not a good combination, especially in the first half of the season. I mean, maybe they get a little bit more reps under their belt. Maybe they get a little bit more consistent. Maybe some people get back from injury, and the second half is a little bit better. Maybe they jump past LGC.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're going to beat Oompa Loompas. Yeah. That's in week 8.
Yeah.
So
and then they play them week 9.
3 weeks from now,
Imagine they
essentially.
don't
And then
beat
LGC is the week after. That might be it. That might be the game to get
That's
in.
the game.
That's
But imagine
Their season,
they don't beat Oompa Loompas. Imagine it's
boy.
that bad.
I can't see that happening.
No. Although Oompa Loompas, for as much, as we say, they're not terrible.
They just
They're
don't know-
just
they don't know what they're
miscast. They're
doing.
just
They don't know what
miscast
they're
in
doing.
Division 3.
They
They're just
don't know what they're
miscast.
doing.
That's not entirely true.
What I mean by that is,
They have some decent athletes.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
the athleticism is not the issue.
no. They should have been in Division
They-
5.
Yeah.
They should have signed up for
They would
Division
have
5.
struggled in Division 5.
They would be like a 4 and 6
Yeah.
kind of team in
Which is
Division
fine.
5B. Yeah, which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, so to suggest that lightweight, I don't know, Eagle, you suggested it. That
No,
lightweight
I'm
might.
dreaming of the scenario because I want to make fun of Simo so bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that I think that's the biggest issue for them. Killer Bees, Alexandre Massot with the offensive performance of the week in week 4.
Yeah.
13 catches, 13 targets, 193 yards, 5 touchdowns.
5.
Legal Cock did nothing to stop him.
No, I mean, I don't know how are we doing for time here? Because
Poorly.
other than
We're already way over. I
Yeah.
mean, at this point,
that's it. I mean,
I made a mistake early, and we can't recover. There's
I
no
mean-
recovery.
I mean, other than just mentioning, because I hate when I write my article, and then I like mention if I ever do like a player of the week and like our FPF fantasy player roster of the week, and then I completely miss like a 9-sack performance like we saw in Coed that completely slips by me. I hate that. So I at least I wanted to mention that I saw a 5-touchdown performance, almost 200 yards in one game. If we just mention that, I think
some quarterbacks don't have 200 yards and 5 TDs.
Exactly. So to do it at the receiver level, really, really cool, really great.
And the thing is, Legal Cock, kind of the drawback with the way they play is they don't really adjust. They just sort of do their thing. So when you see like how do you not just shift your coverage there? They just don't do that.
I didn't know Eli Apple played for LGC.
Yeah. Signed by the Bengals. Because apparently they never want to cover Cooper Kupp. But anyway, we digress. No, huge game. Chris Rivera's game of the week was awesome. We're gonna, you can just watch it. We don't want to spend too much time on it because it's already covered by FPF. We just want to mention it so that to draw your attention to it.
So can I talk one thing specifically about that game though?
Yeah.
That easy W through that game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like straight up, like
was there money in the game? First question.
I don't know. I hope not.
Next question: was Calvin Ridley putting money in the game?
Yes.
Maybe.
You're not allowed to bet on any kind of football, not just NFL games. So yes, he was betting on.
Yeah,
on
he was
this
betting.
one.
Between losing a 2-score lead plus allowing the extra point at the end, the 2-point conversion,
2-point conversion
on an basically a
co-
deep in and a goal line
Comeback.
out route, and I'm watching the play and I'm like, no, how did you let that happen?
all alone.
I know, and like. You're looking at it, and I'm like, well, if it was lane coverage, the outside guy bit hard. If it's man coverage, what are you doing? Like, break with your receiver.
But,
Just come on.
Even in lanes, when you have an out and in concept, you're supposed to communicate who drops,
Yeah.
and who jumps, right? Like,
Yeah.
and,
And
like
you
it's not you're not in div 5 anymore. Like
You say, yes. I'll tell my guy next to me, hey, if this guy goes out, you're
like,
taking him, and I'm dropping
we all played
back for you.
FPF long enough that if you see a smash or an out in front of you, you know
there's
an
someone
in
behind you.
Yes.
Every single team runs that concept.
Yeah.
Every single team. New teams run that concept in Division 6.
Yes.
Everyone knows that.
I bait that concept on my team because I usually play that inner slot lane, and I know that I'm short, and I know it's going over my head, so I specifically call the free safety on this plays to shoot behind me to pick it up and take it upfield because I'm short.
Yep.
Alas, that was the second half was a little disappointing, but I mean, good for Expendables for coming back, getting the win.
But do definitely check it out. Game of the week's awesome. It's the best thing we do.
Man, it's good.
I'm
Holy
on this
crap.
product, and I'm saying go there instead. It's the best thing we do.
Man, it's really, really good. I kind of set it up. If again, I'm pulling the curtain back on myself here. If I'm on the proverbial crapper, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it pop up on my phone. I'll wait till I go on my sofa. I'll put it on the 65-inch TV that I have. I'll really enjoy. I'll crack open a beer. Yep. Here you go. I'll crack open a beer and pour some chips I'll just open a bag of chips and really enjoy the 7 minutes.
It took you a long time to explain a very simple
It's because
concept.
something's happening in front of me and it's just distracting me. Okay.
Welcome to the show. Listen, I didn't choose to put St. Patrick's Day on a Thursday.
You didn't.
So,
but you did choose to put calling the audible on a Thursday.
I did do that. I did for my convenience.
Yeah.
So.
All to say, Game of the Week is a great product. Go and vote, go and watch, and enjoy.
Absolutely. It's great. Do you want to do the mailbag?
Do we want to do it now? I was going to do it at the end.
No, we got picks at the end.
Yeah, we can do it right before picks.
Okay. 35 plus. Midway point of the season for 35 plus. Statement concluded.
It is 8 games, right? So this is week 4. This is the midpoint. Yes.
Yes.
Confirmation on it. Yep. Okay.
Confirmed.
Yeah. So Stephen Haraprasad, struggling in Division 2, not struggling in Division 3, but as we saw, struggling. So he's having, what I'm trying to say is he's having an up and down season depending on the division he's in.
I'm surprised by him succeeding Div 3 and struggling here because this is about Div 3, right? Like,
yeah.
I understand the quarterback plays better, but the defenses are about what you'd see in Division 3.
Right, exactly. Although his Division 3 team is stacked and he doesn't have the same level of receiver talent here.
Because everyone's old in 35 plus.
Exactly. But you could play in 35 plus.
Shut up.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
My white hairs are betraying me, Iggy.
But getting their first win under their belt at the midway point, a 1-point win over Craig O'Brien and Monster.
But so that's impressive because
yes, it is.
Steve Haraprasad, we talked about MFL. Steve Haraprasad coming from MFL, of course, being sort of like the heralded champion of MFL, like the golden nugget of MFL, right?
Yeah, the poster boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Craig O'Brien's been a very good quarterback in FPF for a long time.
Yeah.
And he
more than I know, but yeah.
He has torn apart teams where he had no business beating over and over and over again. And it was the reverse. This was a better Monster team losing to a not as good Old Outlaws. And this was Stephen Haraprasad playing a perfect game.
Yes, and the 2 mistakes that Craig made ended up being returned for 6.
Yeah.
So Jason Stevenson and Anthony Seja, who we talked about with Sparrows Cougars, jumping balls, both.
I wasn't there, but I can see the Seja pick. It's always the same pick.
Can't you just see it? Yeah.
And like you want it back. Like as soon as it leaves your hand, you want that ball in the string.
You're just like, oh no,
you see it happening.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
And funny, I have a funny story here with one of the Monster players. His name is, and I don't know how well he's known in FPF, Marco Otoni.
Nope.
No.
I've never heard of him in my life.
Great.
He's a made-up person.
Perfect.
That's not your real name, bro.
I met him once at Honey Martin, of all places.
What was his real name?
Marco.
Don't believe you.
Otoni.
Don't believe you. Tony O'Marco, maybe.
I had a football at Honey Martin, and he's like, you have a football here? Why do you have a football? And it was like a Thursday or Wednesday night in the middle of summer. So it's quiet, and it was pretty late. I think I was on vacation. So it was like maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m. on a Thursday or Sunday night, some pretty random night to go to a bar. And it's...
First of all, there's no random night to it.
Fair enough. And I'll think it's not a Friday or Saturday night.
Yeah,
it's not busy. And he's like, you have a football. He's like, can I throw the football to you? And we go outside in the middle of Sherbrooke Street at 2 a.m. throwing a football with no traffic. Obviously, it's like 2 a.m. on a Wednesday night, being the random night. And he's throwing like a football to me, and he has like a great arm. And he ends up being like a friend. That he works with one of my friends. He works with one of my friends. It was a crazy story. And then I see him on the monster roster. I'm like, what's going on here? This is insane. So that's my funny story with Marco Ottoni.
What does your friend do? Does he make parachutes?
He's an accountant.
Oh, that's less exciting.
You're
That's
very-
the most boring thing.
And he's not.
Is he an accountant for like a drug den or something? 'Cause
Yeah, that would be
cool.
awesome.
No, he was like
I don't care
studying
anymore.
accounting. He works at CN now. He's a project manager at CN.
Train accountant.
He's a project manager
I mean,
now.
I can count trains.
I can count trains too. It's not impressive.
So that's my Marco Ottoni story.
I'm not impressed by him because we can all count trains.
Yeah.
Is the point of the story? I believe is what you're saying.
But yes, a better like you said, a better monster squad in just terms of name power. Jason Rossi, Paul LaPierre, Marco Ottoni. Just slightly.
Well, and like Andrew Blevings is a literal monster.
Okay,
Like
you
he-
see, that's
he-
a name I'm not familiar
Yeah,
with.
he
but
looks like he has the Bane serum injected into his neck.
Although I do have a question for you. So you see Bleving's beard here?
Yeah.
Let's compare that to Kevin Kusai's beard.
Okay. I will say Kevin Kusai's beard looks like it makes better cupcakes than Andrew Bleving's beard.
Yeah, but I don't want my cupcakes with hair in them.
That's true. So maybe shave your beard for the finals. Yeah, and Brian Martin, we talked about I think either last week or the week before. Old school FPF name,
Okay. Yeah.
big body wide receiver, which Monster has that. They have size.
Right.
They have size. They have physicality. Old Age Outlaws sort of
Don't.
just craftiness is
Yeah.
their sort of thing,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it was cool to see them overcome that in
Yep.
this week. Montreal Spitfire 4-0, but they narrowly squeaked out a win against Tony Curry's shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, my point with this discussion here is, it's not that are they warranted to be 4-0. Sure, they won their games and all, but it's just how meaningful is it in Tier 1 with a 4-team league where shenanigans, they're 0-4 against a 4-0 Montreal Spitfire. If you just think about that outside the context of a 4-team tier, it's like, oh, okay, well, one team's 4-0, the other one's 0-4. Should have cracked them, type of thing. But no, it's not that. The parity is a lot more closer.
But to be fair,
in
like
Division
last time they
35.
played, this is the third time they played already. And,
I didn't catch that. Okay, yeah.
and the first time was a blowout. Second time was a convincing
Jesus.
win, and this was closer. Like it's getting closer and closer.
Right. Now, I mean, I haven't analyzed the teams that have been fielded for both squads. I didn't go that deep into an analysis, but yeah, I mean, just by the maybe learning curve of both teams, shenanigans have started to pick up on what the Montreal Spitfire are doing.
So, Tony Curry is a savvy player. He's not the most physically gifted. He himself would tell you that, but
Yeah.
he's a really experienced, smart FPF player.
Yep.
He was at his game. Sorry, and he did his thing. He's a possession receiver.
Yep.
But one of the
Master
things,
chirper.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
the best of the best.
Yeah.
Like
Love to play with him, hate to play against
even
him.
like I played against him. Like I'm not someone who gets affected
Yeah.
by smack talk because I don't care about other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But as obvious by my personality. But the thing is like I laughed often because I saw him pissing off my own teammates. And I was like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
That's a good observation.
Yeah.
And it's what you see a lot of 35 plus is these two teams are basically built to like familiar FPF names, right? So the guys who know each other really well, and I like seeing shenanigans being able to compete. It means to me Tony Curry is making these adjustments on both sides of the ball. He's sort of informing them, hey guys, this is what Carmine likes to do. This is his, and like we expect Montreal Spitfire to win anyway because they're just a superior team.
Yep.
But the fact that they kept it that close makes it really interesting to me, and especially that they outscored them in second half.
Yeah. That exactly to your point. That means he's making the adjustments, communicating it to his team, which he is a great communicator on the football field. So at halftime adjustments, so yeah, he's definitely making an influence for shenanigans.
Division 5A, Dave Allen missed the game out with COVID.
Yeah.
Nick
This is-
DeMello
yeah.
played quarterback, and I actually was with Alexis Dubois this week,
Yeah.
and plays with me in Division 4B.
Yeah.
And he's like, we lost the Longhorns. I was like,
Uh-huh.
how?
An 0-3 Longhorns
Yeah.
team beat the 3-0 Ravens team. And then this goes back again to our overarching theme of the night, the backup quarterback usurping kind of the starting QB. The performance that Nick DeMello put up, 86% completion rate, 246 passing yards, 7 touchdowns. Fine, 2 interceptions as well. But that means kind of the 9 possessions that he had.
Yeah.
You knew they were either turnovers or scores.
But it's the fast pace. Like,
Yeah.
so if you're playing that fast, we've
Yeah.
talked about this before. You and I were. If you're playing the fast pace, you can live with a mistake because you're banking on the other team making mistakes as well.
Yep.
And that's what happened in this game.
And he's just, it's going to sound bad, but he's unpredictable in that he's going off of his first and second read. He can buy time in the pocket or outside of the pocket by rolling out and making a great throw on the run. Like it's a bullet, and it's a tight spiral.
I've seen him before. He's more known as a receiver in FPF.
Yep.
But his athleticism is elite.
Yep.
Um,
Like cross, like
yeah.
like look left, roll left, crossbody right, 30 yards down
Yeah.
to Chris Rosen.
Chris Rosen.
Yeah, for a touchdown
Yeah.
twice in a game, where like that's really hard to defend. So that's a very different game plan that Ravens probably thought they were going in with, thinking Dave Allen was a quarterback who would never roll
That's
left
also
and,
true.
and throw off of his back
Dave Allen
foot.
would never roll.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, maybe roll.
Yeah. But look, Dave Allen has his knowledge of the game is he'll forget more about FPF than you and I will ever know combined,
Mhm.
right? And he's an elite snapper,
Yeah.
underappreciated for his entire time in FPF and his involvement in FPF Junior as well.
Yeah.
But as a quarterback, a lot of what he does is too reliant on timing for the athletes he has.
Now for the division,
Yes.
Yeah. especially like a team.
What's it
like
like?
Ravens.
Like as he moves up, unless he gets better athletes, it's gonna struggle because
Yeah.
the other teams he plays against are gonna have the better athletes that
Yeah.
can take away what he does.
Yep.
And you can't take advantage of Div 6 teams who don't know,
Exactly.
Right?
Which he
So-
was doing. Yeah.
which he was doing
Yeah.
last season.
Yeah.
In summer.
in the spring.
Spring,
Yeah.
Ravens defense, however,
Ah, yes. I feel like they're strong, but you feel
So-
you can exploit them.
both things can be true.
Yeah.
They have strengths. They have immense strengths.
Yeah.
Justin Sarlabus, you know what he's doing on defense. So if you can push him, you can create space. And if you create space, you have easy completions.
Mhm.
That's how you get 86% completion percentage.
Yeah.
And if you can buy time, that's even easier to do.
Yeah.
I don't have that ability. I love guys
you
who
wish
do.
you could. Yeah.
Absolutely, because if you can create different throwing windows and if you can push that deep safety back, it creates areas in the intermediate.
Yeah.
The Ravens also don't really have a dedicated elite rusher, which against Nick DeMello is a problem.
Yes. Oh, I saw it. Trust me. Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, the rusher wasn't wearing cleats. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
That doesn't help at all.
I don't wear cleats because I don't run. But if you do anything where you need to cut, you need cleats.
Yeah.
That's I'm surprised by the score. But when you
Yeah.
told me about the game, I was like, I can see it. Because it's specific to Nick DeMello capitalized on the weakness of the Ravens. And the Ravens couldn't use their strengths to benefit them
on defense.
on defense.
Yeah.
Well, because look at the score.
Yes.
'Cause Joel Hill did everything he
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
on offense.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I understand 2 interceptions. Normally, if the Ravens clamp down, that's enough.
Yeah. And I thought this game, just to wrap it up here with the Ravens Longhorns, but I saw, like I said, I was watching that Vultures Bandits game and leaving towards the field. And at the last play of the half, Flag Jesus himself comes down with a midfield Hail Mary, jumping over.
He's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's crazy. And I'm like, flag Jesus in the house here. And he gave me a little nod of approval. He's like, damn straight I'm here. I thought, they scored. I couldn't tell exactly what the score was at the time, but I'm like, damn, like scoring on the last play of the half, that could be a turning point. I knew they were down, so they really needed the score. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, maybe they can come back in this one. But no, Nick DeMalo kept the pedal to the proverbial metal and just put up 48 on the Ravens.
Another team to make a quarterback switch is Delphs.
Yep.
They lost to Goofy Goobers, but
yeah,
I've been on the record. I think Goofy Goobers are really good.
Very good, yeah.
And they kept it close. They kept it close. Fred LeBlanc is 0-2, but he looks the part.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually ended up playing Dilfs in week 1. I think they had Teddy Fournette as the QB. I wasn't too impressed, and as Vultures 2.0, that was our only victory so far. I came against the Dilfs with him at quarterback. They made a switch 2 weeks ago. They played Metaverse with Noah Groper and allies, and then played Goofy Goobers. So 2 very, very good teams. But this quarterback, he looks legit. Fred LeBlanc.
Yeah.
He threw the tightest spiral between 2 defenders. Their arms were like crossing, and Charles Vero just boom front of the end zone. Leo looked at me and said, "You don't see this in Division 5," and I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't seen this."
Well, Charles Vero is a guy who's been hanging in low divisions for no reason for too long.
Just to be clear, DILFs stands for Dictators in Lati, Finland, right?
Yeah,
I hate Finland for that reason.
Yes.
That's why, by the way, Canada, the only country to declare war, the first country to declare war on another democratic nation. We declared war with Finland in 1917, 18, around then.
Uh-huh.
We never called it off, so we're still at war with Finland. So, damn you, Dilfs.
It's true.
Okay. If you look at their team picture, they're dripping from the Dilfs on their jerseys.
Right, obviously.
Man, those dictators.
Rob used to be better at this.
The damn dictators, yeah. But yeah, so despite being 0-2, I think they have now a better shot with him at quarterback to stand up to teams like Los Bandidos, the Reet, Streets Ahead, Longhorns.
Well, you mentioned Los Bandidos.
Yeah.
They handled Step Bros this week. I was there for that game, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a handling. Like, the game wasn't even, like, the score's not close. The game was less close. They've been great since getting crushed by the Reet. What are they?
I hate doing this, but they're 2-2. You know what I'm going to say.
So are they a team that just beats who you expect and loses to who you expect?
Yeah, they're a team that, regardless of who they're playing, they're not going to change. They play their style of game. I can probably tell you out of 10 plays, I'll call 5 before the plays run, and I know what the play is.
Yeah. Well, you played with them as well, right?
Well, 1 game.
Yeah.
It was just a sub.
It just happened to be against me. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it just happened to be against you, exactly. It's a lot of actually a lockdown kind of plays, a lot of mirroring plays, and it's
mirrored plays.
If it doesn't work on the left side of the field, it's not gonna work on the right side of the field. But anyways, I digress.
Because like all you're doing is saying, I want to run this play on the defensive weak side. So do that, and then call something else on the strong side of the defense.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. I think you hit it on the nail on the head. They're gonna beat.
We see that where there's teams where it's just like you're entirely matchup dependent.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna win games against weak teams, lose games against strong teams.
Yeah. Like if we quickly break down their schedule, I think. But now with Dilfs with the new quarterback, it's going to be tighter, but I think they win. I think they lose against the Ravens. Goofy Goobers is a loss. Kings of the North is a win, Pincellos is a win, and Metaverse is a loss. So, like, I know who they're going to beat, and I know who they're going to lose to. So, yeah, they're very, very matchup dependent, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are two Pfizer's and FOT's Half Johnson far better than their 1-3 record?
Yes.
Because?
Thank you for giving me time to elaborate.
Yeah.
The thoughts.
Because is that better? If
Because
I
of their-
stretch the word out.
Yes. Because of their, and we've talked about this mostly in Division 6, where it could be a product of your schedule, but their schedule has been tough for them. They faced Warriors in week 1. They won a division or fall cup championship. They
Tier
destroyed
3,
tier 3. Yep. They destroyed Red Dragons, new team. Don't really know what's going on yet with FPF. Lost to Air Force One.
We're talented.
Yep. You're not surprised by them losing to Air Force One. You're not. At least I'm not surprised that they lost to what could have beens. What could have beens are
Really good.
the equivalent of an Air Force One.
Yeah.
From
Well,
a
we saw
couple
them in
seasons.
their first season. They kind of took Division 6 by storm, if I'm not mistaken, or Division.
What could have beens?
Yeah.
I think they either went 9-1 or 10-0.
Yeah.
So and then it was our COVID season that got cut off with in 2020.
So they didn't close the deal.
Yes, yeah. COVID got the best of them.
You know.
Yeah. Kind of like all of us.
Maybe
but
do
yeah.
better.
So now if you take a look at their schedule, replacements, it's a win. Yeah, it's a win. Wow, damn.
Well, we'll talk about replacements in a second. They had a really good game this week.
They did against Team Sexy.
Yeah.
But for two Pfizer's, yes, I'm not surprised that they're 1-3 because they do have a better team than a 1-3 record suggests. But it's because of a product of their schedule.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We're going to see that
Yeah.
moving forward. Replacements were 90 seconds away from upsetting Team Sexy. They were up. They allowed a score. Frankie Teolicolotrella gets the ball. Throws a quick out to sniper Matthew Chadwick, who kind of got roughed up on a play.
Uh-huh.
Matthew Chadwick's a big physical receiver.
He's a big guy.
So for him to get hit up was pretty physical.
Yeah.
The ball goes up in the air, gets picked off, pick 6, and they lose the game.
Yeah.
Brutal loss for replacements.
So, yes. But then I believe, because I was wrapping up my game, we were playing simultaneously Honey Martin versus the U, and on the other field, replacements, Team Sexy. I think they had three chances.
Wait, how did Kareem Chilcott play for both teams then?
He did not.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
Wait. Yeah, no, someone wore number 0.
Wait
Because
a second.
Because he played with my team. Someone was using
Those
his
two things are not possible.
Someone used his number 0 jersey, probably.
Fair.
Is what happened, because he was definitely playing on Honey Martin, unless
Right.
he mitosis, the splitting of cells.
It's not possible.
Maybe
in this case.
Kareem's doing something with his genetics that I don't want to know about. My point being, yes, they had a chance. That he threw a pick 6, but they had 3, if not 4 plays to drive down the field.
Yeah.
I think
They
they
did
were,
have a chance at the end. You're right.
and all 3 attempts were Hail Marys. No. Why? Why don't you know yet that to cut the
Two
field?
plays the half field, then you have a choice: 2 plays to the end zone or cut in half and take 1 shot.
I mean, unless they're literally defending the midfield, in which case go over their head, right?
They weren't. I saw the final few plays. Team Sexy were like covering at midfield starting. Cut the field in half.
Yeah.
Cut the field into thirds if you have 3 plays. It's not that hard to drive a field in 3 or 4 plays. It's really a lot of plays.
Frankie Teolicolotrella, he's learning, but some of the difficulties is managing game situations.
Yeah.
And that's what he's got to get better at, right?
Yeah.
You can't just take shots to the end zone. That's not a way to win the game.
It's not. Now, that being said, they've put together the replacements. They've retooled their roster.
Yeah, it's a good roster.
Quite a bit. Yeah, exactly. So with
Whoever
Kareem
Chilcott is, because he's
whoever
not
that is.
Kareem.
Whoever put
Had a
up
good game.
4 for 4 for 39 and a TD.
And honestly, like I've played with Matthew Chadwick a long time. He's a guy who went from being like a number 5
Option.
on my receiving
Yeah.
core to being a guy who I
Number 1 or
trusted in
2.
the finals
Yeah.
to go to over and over again.
Yeah.
A guy who I trusted in a tight game this season to go over and over. Like he's got sure hands. He understands the spacing in FPF. He understands spacing in FPF is the
It's
most
huge.
underrated
Yeah.
part of the game. Like
Yeah.
being in the I don't care about your cut. Be at the place I need you to be when I need you to be there.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's become that and he's snapped from me before, and he learned that, like, wow, being a snapper, it's more art than science. You need to understand the entire offense to do that.
Yes.
And he's learned to do that, and I think in this system he's gonna thrive.
Yep. And pieces like the real Kareem Anthony Choka and Anthony Pelletier
Yeah. Oh, I think Veltier, by the way, is really good too.
is amazing. I
Yeah.
love this guy. He
Like
played
the
with
fact
us.
that he's a throwaway on this roster is like
Like he
Yeah.
played with Honey Martin for a fall cup season. I loved
great teammate, great dude.
great teammate because I wasn't throwing, but great teammate. And my quarterback,
Great teammate because I wasn't throwing.
no. I didn't know the quarterback wide receiver connection.
Okay.
So what I'm saying as a wide receiver teammate, he was a great teammate. And my backup quarterback for Honey Martin, Mark Bellini, loved him as a target. Big guy, quick feet, knew exactly where to be. On his
Quick cleanup. Week 1, I mentioned Mark Bellini being the quarterback for Honey Martin.
No, you said David Ronaldo.
Oh, David Rinaldi. That was a mistake.
Yeah, and you corrected
Yeah,
it last week.
Yeah, you're right.
I watched calling.
I knew I made a mistake. I
Yeah,
made a mistake.
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot what the mistake was.
So he's built a nice little roster with FPF experience. So I'm surprised that with 3 or 4 plays, no one told him, "Hey, hit me on a 10-yard out or a 10-yard hook. Let me gain 7 extra yards. You don't need to go all the way." Kind of surprised me.
Yeah, for sure. Eagle, mailbag.
All right.
Do it fast.
So we're going to do this somewhat quick.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Is
So
the
we're going to go
amount of
through these
quick.
reasonably quick
So,
here for everything.
Pull back the curtain. I made a mistake. I forgot that the Division 4 and 5 were split in half, and I mistimed this completely. It's a long episode.
Yeah.
Enjoy the extra coverage.
So we have 6 technically entries for today. We're going to go through them somewhat quick. We're
Yeah.
going to do more of the serious ones at the beginning here. So the first one is from @PTBE_00, and it just said he wants to hear about big fat bats.
First
So-
of all, great name, especially after 9 p.m.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes. Yep. You're big. Are you? No, you slimmed
I was
down.
big.
You were
I'm
big.
still kind of big.
You're no longer fat, and you
I-
play softball.
I think this is an East End terminology thing. It relates to marijuana.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
No, well, if you look at the team
Oh, there
picture,
we go.
the team picture suggests bats flying high.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, big fat bats. Yes. The Zeppeltini, Zeppele brothers. Yeah,
And
they're
playing well.
yeah, they're good. But okay, another 24-18 win against ND Pizza Gang. They beat up on Team Poland like they should have.
They got smacked by Thunder Buddies as expected. They beat they're beating bad teams.
Yeah.
They're losing to good teams. That said, they're deep into the cannibal arts. By that I mean the smoking of cannabis.
Yes.
And I like Luca Lucchese as a rusher. He's really, really
Oh
good.
yeah. He had a very good game. Yeah.
But he's been good for a little while. 6 sacks already this season. He's not a guy who's gonna put up ridiculous numbers, but he's really consistent as a rusher. That's important to have too.
Yeah.
He forces bad throws. As a receiver, AJ Zapatelli is really good.
He's really fast.
Yeah.
And he's learned the art of the spin, the FPF, spin move. He does it really well. So he's upped his FPF game. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I have a question for Big Fat Bats. You gotta let us know your favorite strain.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know. As a team, you gotta take a team vote. Send us the info.
Yeah.
All right, next in the mailbag, we have from @AJ Gomes with a 3, and he says, rank the top 3 quarterback wide receiver duos in the league, please.
So, all right, I'm not doing rankings. But we'll just talk about some QB receiver duos that we like.
Yeah.
First of all, this is just so we talk about AJ Gomes, right?
Pumping your own tire. Yeah.
I saw an Instagram post that I laughed at where he caught like a pass or something. It was like
Dropped one.
no, but in the he didn't post it on Instagram.
And then caught one.
But on Instagram, he posted him catching a ball.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because he's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's like, to all the haters, I love you. And I was like, who hates AJ Gomez's talent? Like, there's not people saying this guy is terrible.
I think you're missing the context there.
Which I don't get it.
Oh, okay.
Please explain it.
So
'cause I was like, everybody knows he's really good.
right.
So what is this?
So I think the context was maintainers of the page.
Maintainers.
Maintainers?
I don't know.
No, maintainers.
I'm making up words.
Yes. Filmed a specific play from the Gryffindors game with Dan Lazara to throwing to AJ Gomes. One of the plays was an incompletion. Now, I think from the storyline with the music, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Oh, okay. So,
Yes.
true story. I almost never turn my volume up on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm always watching on silent.
Right. You should sometimes.
Yeah,
when
I'm
see a
but I'm
song.
always doing another thing. Is why I never have the volume on.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why. But yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Now I get it because I was like, this post is stupid because obviously he's excellent, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Right. So the first play that gets posted is a drop from Dan Lazara to AJ Gomes, but it's saying if at first you don't succeed, and then the next post. So the first post was tagged with AJ Gomes and not Dan Lazara. The second post is a touchdown from Dan Lazara to AJ Gomes saying, again, with the same song playing, if at first you don't succeed, try again and whatnot. Then the next, so there was a bit of a feud on the Instagram page saying, how come you didn't tag me on the touchdown?
oh, this league stuff.
Yes.
Got you.
So
Super
then,
petty.
So when AJ Gomes then caught a touchdown in a different game, in a different facility, he then tagged himself saying the haters and whatnot. So
There's no haters. AJ Gomes.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a bit of the
top
context.
3,
there.
top 5, top 1 doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Excellence is the position from day one in FPF.
So I don't know all the QB wide receiver duos, but some that just come to mind: Matthew Lerner to Justin Lerner.
George Gary P and Jamel.
Absolutely.
That 13-yard, 15-yard
Comeback?
fly on the sidelines,
Or-
comeback, whatever. Like, because it's a double read where it's
Yes.
like it's either going to be back shoulder comeback or fly over the top, where both guys always know what to do.
Yes.
Is nonsense.
Yep.
Can we go with Carmen Palice and Dylan Taylor most recently, especially because the game of the week,
Yeah.
right? And just the timing on those routes, and
Yeah.
the ball placement and
Yeah,
everything.
I like that
Seems to
one.
be going pretty good.
Yep.
I like Ian Niebuhr and Will Power. Ian Niebuhr and Vincent
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Yes.
That's
the
the
one
fact
I
that
think
he
of.
has 2 of them.
Yeah.
He has 2 mutants.
Yeah. I haven't been in FPF too long, but I'll go with one that it's been a while.
Okay.
Styles Trudeau to Max Bura.
Yeah.
There was a moment in time where that one was like, just throw it on a rope and Max Bura is going to come down with
I
it.
feel like that's more Max Bureau.
Yeah,
That's
fair,
just the glitch.
fair.
right?
But Styles Trudeau had a good arm and it was a very good quarterback in Division 6 and 5B.
2 with the same guy. Tam Villadeth to Pat Jerome was what
Yeah.
it was, but now it's Kevin Wyeth to Pat Jerome.
Yeah.
It's impressive every time.
Yeah.
Pat Jerome is a monster human.
Not something that happens now, but it used to be Kevin Wyeth to Don Shepard. That was another one. To
Ben, if we go low division, Ben McMahon to
Kevin Donnett
Donna and Drysdale.
James Drysdale. Yeah.
Two mutants.
We're going to play them soon and I don't still know how to defend it.
Marco
Perfect.
Mathiotra to Theo Ojea.
Well, yeah. Theo J ran this route in the finals. It's not even a comeback. It's a slant corner comeback.
The C. Yeah.
And
Like a C.
Marco Masocha didn't move. It's not like he bought time. That's Theo being Theo.
Didn't move, so just
He was in the pocket,
got the ball and threw it.
got the ball, threw it to the
that's
cone,
insane.
and Theo
Was able to make 3 routes
Yeah.
in one in
Yeah.
that motion. That's unbelievable. That's
Yeah.
insane. That's crazy.
I just had one. Yeah, this is a while back, but you can say Greg Stern to Jacob Peterson. That was.
Very old.
I still remember the corner post route against the Badets in one of the finals, and I had to play it back in my mind because I'm like, it was such a beautiful route, and the ball placement and everything. Yeah, just so good.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's enough of them, but there's obviously a lot if we go back in the
Adam
history.
Crystal and
Oh, yeah.
was it Alex Holloway or James Floriani was throwing it?
I think it was Florian. Oh, actually, that's a good point who it was.
I don't remember. Whoever was throwing for No Regard and Adam Crystal, who has the top 2 seasons at wide receiver.
Was he even with No Regard for that season, though? I don't think so.
Well, it's a good point. I don't remember who was there.
I mean, I can go find out who it is.
It doesn't
Hold
matter.
on.
Adam Crystal plus Iggy. It doesn't matter who the
Sure.
quarterback is.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Season records for receiving, it would have been he was with the Hall of Famers, and the quarterback for that team was Justin Smoller.
Oh, Justin Smoller, yeah. It was a 1 receiver team,
Okay.
and you couldn't cover him. You could put all 6 players on him. It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Awesome.
The ball was still going there, and
Yep.
he still beat you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a QB wide receiver. duo.
What about if you go in our Kendall Myers and Alex Holloway?
That's another good one.
That's another
Yeah.
good one. Wait. We can literally do this for every
Yes.
franchise in FPF.
Yep.
All right, quick shout out. I just wanted to bring this up. He said, shout out to Chris Riva for his game of the week. He's the best in the game at filming. I know we talked about it earlier, but just a reminder to everyone to go and watch that game. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you're probably watching this right now. So keep that in mind and just like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
And remember, if this is too long, it's because I'm drunk.
Next one in the media mailbag is from @Tristan Gauthier Norris, just saying they want to hear about the REIT.
You give me 2 words, the REIT. I'll give you 2 words back. Dawson Pierre.
Yeah. I played him last season. Dude's
He's
amazing.
nuts.
Like him, we double covered him, and he mossed dudes.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Moss dudes. And he's when he played on his team last season, he was by far the tallest dude. That's not even the case.
Yeah.
With the REIT,
Top right corner. Just.
they're just really big dudes. They have the other Alex D'Aquila.
Yes.
So
The real
Alex D'Aquila.
Don't you start.
This Santino and Dante Sperania.
Yeah.
Excellent players. This is going to be a team to contend with.
It is. It really,
they kind of
really
remind me of
is.
the Alessandro Barazzoni team.
Zone 6 ball.
No, the next one, the good one. Yeah, whatever they were.
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of that
yes.
up and coming. I think
yes.
they're
With the
gonna
orange
move up
jerseys.
in divisions too
Yeah.
quickly and kind of hit a wall. But if you stick through it, it's gonna be fun because the athleticism is wild. The athleticism on this team is absolutely.
It really. It's not a joke. You're being legitimate with what you're saying. Very good. Unknown talent is what.
Unknown talent was the one, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
When they added all the pieces.
Yeah, Grappini and Nick Gomez Rizzo.
Not the Div 6 version, the Div 4 version or whatever it was, Div 5, whatever it was. When they moved up and added all their pieces, that
that one.
Also, since we're looking at it, Tristan, where's your receiving yards? How come you're not there?
Slacker.
Yeah, a lot of defensive stuff though. That's pretty nice.
Whatever.
But I mean,
defense doesn't matter. Everyone knows that.
Pretty much. Next on our media mailbag from @ChrisRive28 saying, why does Mokan pretend to be a vegan?
Mokan's always been looking for a tribe, right? So he doesn't fit in a lot of places. And it's maybe vegan's my tribe.
Yeah.
But I feel like Mokan low-key sneaks some chicken sandwiches in there.
Oh, he's
a late night club sandwich dude. Am I
he
right?
didn't come to the show because he's drinking, and
This is
he's
0% truth.
and he's at a butcher. He's with Chris Rive.
Yo, I've been out with Mo when lots of things are being consumed. I can tell you Mo's not drinking. Where there's no judgment. Where there's everything's being consumed. Mokan's not drinking.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, we don't really know the real Mokan. He's not a vegan.
We know the real Mokan.
So is he fly?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, we'll get to
Well, so that actually brings us to our last question on the list, which is actually from our official Flag Plus account. So someone who has access to the account
Rob, 'cause
was logged in and submitted this question. Why is Mokan so fly?
I know it's Rob for 2 reasons. One, he forgot to change account, and that's what old people do. And fly is something old people would say.
So Rob wrote on
Our own Flag Plus account.
yes,
Yes. Our own Flag Plus account.
yes, correct.
This is old people stuff.
This is
This
very
is
old.
landline shit.
Yes, yes.
Why is Mokan so fly? Listen, I often have this issue.
Can I say because he's not a white guy and play the lyrics?
I often have this issue. I go to the washroom. I come back. I forget to zip up. It's a problem. It happens sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
So Mokan suffers from that too.
Okay, let's not get DMCA'd here, please.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, we need to not get blocked after 3 hours of work.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, we're now going into the fastest version of games of the week you're ever going to do. Let's go through this really, really, really fast, okay?
Are you even gonna say out the names, or are we just?
Yes, I'm going to say out the names.
Okay.
Are you crazy? What's wrong with you?
By the way, my wife says you look like Macadonna so much.
Yeah, I know.
That's the level of which you look like Macadonna is so much.
No,
that
nice.
that now your wife's commenting.
Yeah.
Division 1 and 2, #NR, Urgence Midzik.
Urgence.
Gryffindor got skills.
Gryffindor. Yeah.
KGP all hooks.
KGB.
The Apocalypse Party Crashers.
The Apocalypse.
KGP. Oh wait, Party Crashers.
Braves FMS.
KGP would win that shit.
Braves Flagmon Sack.
Braves.
Incredibles Team Swoosh.
Incredibles.
All right, we're gonna go Div 3. Oompa Loompas Killer Bees.
Bees.
Blessed Pastor Prime.
Blessed.
Mangoose Thor's Hammer.
Thor's.
Expendables Silent Ticklers.
Silent Ticklers.
Expendables.
Les Maluds Blessed.
Blessed.
Junkyard Dogs Bearskins.
Junkyard.
Touch It Catch It Easy W.
Touch it, catch it.
Thor's Hammer Expendables.
Thor's Hammer.
Thor's.
LGC Ligro Cook Touch It Catch It.
Touch it.
And Sheesh Blessed.
Good. That one's good.
Woof. Blessed.
Yeah, blessed, but it's a close one.
Game of the week.
4A Blackouts KGP Raw.
Blackouts. Good. KGP Raw.
Big Fun The Stoics.
Ooh, that was good.
Stoics.
Big Fun.
Bruins Takeover.
Takeover.
The Brotherhood Centaur.
Brotherhood on fire.
Brotherhood on fire.
Top Season Backyard Bullies.
Top season.
Hurley and Sons Sparrows Cougars.
Sparrows.
We're gonna go 4B Honey Martin Les Montagnards.
Wow, in their fault case.
Finally can't pick it.
To be honest, I actually think this is a loss for Honey Martin. Give me the Montagnard. Montagnard's defense is
Yeah.
not
No, they're good. I saw them.
solid.
Yep.
Voodoo Vultures.
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 Golden Eagles Bandits.
Bandits. I don't understand what's going on with Golden
Yeah.
Eagles. So Bandits.
And bandits.
The
Doesn't even
U
matter.
Ballers.
The
U Ballers.
The U.
The U. I'm never picking against the U again.
Finessers Mofos.
Give me finessers.
Mofos.
Hot Sauce Sports Beer Belly Brigade.
Can't pick it. How's the sports by 50?
I'm sorry, Peas. Okay. Beer bellies.
We have Les Verges Folles Los Locos.
First one.
Los Locos.
And then Les Verges Folles East Side Boys. Not on the same day though, the next day.
East Side Boys.
Eastside Boys.
Arush Team Ethnic.
Team Ethnic? Question mark?
Ethnic. Yeah, ethnic.
Quick
Les
question mark, right?
Montagnards Los Locos.
Montagnard.
Montagnard. They're
And
good, man.
Bandits
Yeah.
Sphinx.
Bandits. So these are a lot of double headers.
Just happens to be
Seems
that
that
week.
way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bandits Aster Sphinx though.
Div
Cheaters.
5A Streets Ahead Vultures 2.0.
Can't pick it.
Vultures to win.
Ghost Buffalo Wild Wings.
Did you say goats?
Ghosts.
Ghosts it is.
Ghosts.
Dilfs Los Bandidos.
Bandidos.
LB.
The Mighty Six Pinchellos.
Mighty Six.
Yeah, 96.
Ravens Balls Deep.
Ravens.
Ravens. Yeah.
Metaverse Backwoods Football Club.
Metaverse.
Give me backwards. They're fun.
Yeah.
Plucky.
Pinchellos Longhorns.
Longhorns with the new QB, baby. Let's go. Culver.
Words, I think.
New QB.
And Step Bros Goofy Goobers.
Goofy.
GG.
5B Air Force One Warriors.
F1.
Oh, that's good. That was the finals
Okay.
from
Yeah.
winter. Give me no, Warriors.
Trailer Park Boys San Francisco 69ers.
Trailer.
Trailer.
Two Pfizers and Fots Half Johnson replacements.
Pfizer.
Team Sexy, Trap Stars.
That's a good one.
Trap Stars.
The Greek Freak. Give me Team Sexy.
All right.
Le Speak Easy, Threat Level Midnight.
Speak Easy.
It's not fair because I always want to pick Threat Level Midnight because
Yeah,
the
I
name,
know.
but I'll go Speak Easy.
And then Le Speak Easy Binds on a different night.
Speak Easy.
Yeah, give me Speak Easy again.
Not Mustangs, Trailer Park Boys.
Trailer.
I will not pick Trailer. I will pick not Mustang.
Cookers,
not
Trap
picking-
Stars.
Trap Stars.
Yeah, Trap Stars. But it's Cookers are good.
Save the Turf Trolls and 2 Pfizers and Fots Half Johnson.
Turf.
That's a good. Yeah, Turf.
And Lockdown, Save a Horse.
Your nemesis, Save a Horse.
The Div 3,
It's a
Save
bad
a
matchup
Horse.
for Lockdown. Save a Horse.
Save a Horse.
Div 6, Free Agent Squad, The Stormers.
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 Killer Rays, Demons.
Killer Rays.
Zidane La Frappé, Your Girlfriends Cheer for Us.
Your girlfriend's
The
cheer
other,
for me.
the team that's not Zidane.
The Off Island Boys, Beer Nights.
Beer Nights.
Beer Nights.
Cavalier du Rohan, Brewers.
Cavalier.
Cavalier.
Spanish Inquisition, Tropic Thunder.
Tropic. It's close though. It's a good game.
Tropic.
The Penetrators, Stratton Oakmont.
Penetrators.
Flamingos, Tugarni.
Flamingos.
Toot County.
Maccabees, 7th Rounders.
Seventh rounders.
Glory Boys, Flag Football Team.
Glory.
Flag football team.
The Spanish Inquisition, The Penetrators.
That's a good one.
Spanish Inquisition.
Penetrators for me.
Toon Squad, Wild Hogs.
Toon Squad with Chaz back, I think.
Toon Squad.
Team Poland, Dusters 2.0.
Dusters.
Dusters.
West Island Boys, Betway Bandits.
Oh, that's a good one. But I think West Island boys have the experience.
Betway.
Lionhearts, Big Fat Bats.
Big.
Give me that
fat
big fat
bats.
V-Town, Henry Pisai Gang.
V.
V-Town. Yeah.
FKU, Thunder Buddies.
Thunderbird.
Thunder Buddies.
35 plus, Pacemakers, Brody Windsor.
Pace.
JMJ, FPF.
I don't know who those There's so many acronyms. JMJ.
Old Age Outlaws, Shenanigans.
Old age. Go for back-to-back wins.
Montreal Spitfire, Monster.
Spitfire.
Playing again? Spitfire.
Yeah, it's just 4 teams, guy.
Coed 1, Sriracha Hot Chili Sauce, Average and Savage.
Sriracha.
Yeah,
They had
Sriracha.
a great game this week.
Power Rangers, Party Mix.
That's game of the week.
Party mix. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm going Party Mix too.
Average and Savage, Bishop Sycamore.
Average.
Come on, Bishop Sycamore for the win.
I hope
All
so.
right.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Coed 2, 3 Hunas, Kiss My End Zone.
Can't pick it.
Kiss Man's Zone. I don't like it though.
Yin and Yang or Y&Y, La Secte.
What? Why and why?
Yeah, I don't know why we
Yeah.
spent so much time.
Team Commando, Fit Squad.
Fit Squad.
Good squad.
All right, and last but not least, the women's division. VC Cubs and Red Nation.
VC Cubs.
Red
No, Red Nation.
Nation. Red Nation.
Red Nation. Switch.
Concordia, Bleu Pou.
Bleu Pou.
Bleu.
Volts, VC Cubs.
Bolts.
Volts. Yeah.
Bleu Pou, Flamand Rose.
Oh, that's good.
Bleu.
Yeah, Bleu Pou.
Concordia, The Rock.
Concordia.
Concordia's struggling. Yeah, they find their way. Concordia.
You have to imagine they beat the Red.
And last game, Les Bleus, Strangers.
No, Les Bleus.
Les Bleus. Wow. Clean sweep for Les Bleus, huh?
Yeah, all the blues.
Guys, we made it.
I'm so tired.
3 hours? 2:59.
Oh, it's way more. Yeah, it's way more
It's
than
more
that.
because I
Yeah,
stopped
and
it at
there's
one
more,
point.
yeah.
It's a long show. I'm
that was
sorry.
a long one. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my wife. who's
Mo-
been waiting home.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. I made a mistake by forgetting Division 4 and 5 were split in half.
Yes.
And that ruined the timing of the show. So enjoy the extra coverage. And if you hate it, I don't care about your feelings.
It's overtime, right?
Yeah, we get paid for that, right?
Yeah.
Iggy, thank you for joining me this week in Mo's
Yeah.
absence. Thank you all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank whoever invented beer. Because
That was
just
awesome. Yeah.
And Eagle, thank you for all your production. But most of all, I want to thank you all for letting me be myself.